The Star.
Yeah, y'all already know. Seven the pan. That dude Biz on the beat. Yeah. We live in entertainment. Sound change. Crown the kings, homie. This is where it get ill. About to have the tip off live as a tip drill. From the court to the diamond, to the track, to the big skin, flying around the field, starting five forever, keeping it real. If it matters in the world of sports, jeans and long sleeves, they taking no shorts. So hot to death, oh yes, these other sports podcasts live as a pro's corpse. Biz market wave, the starting five goes off. No matter who you cheer for, emotions out the window, they analyzing with clear thoughts. They take it way deeper than the force ever. No longer got any use for the four letters. The latest news, score stats and a view from the sideline. Ain't no guideline, it's just the truth. Yeah, no need to dig for a pardon line. It's always in season if people starting five. We going in on three, run the baseline, starting five. We got what you need. If the sports news you see, we don't waste time. We talking cause we live it. We got what you need. We going in on three, run the baseline, starting five. We got what you need. And y'all know me, seven sign. I'm the illest cat spit. I got what you need.
Man, listen. Vince, I know I'm fucking up the regular intros, but ain't it dope to be in your car bumping some shit that you made that's live on YouTube right now?
All the time, man. I love it, and I appreciate the opportunity. And me and Seven was more than willing to do it for y'all, man. Because
you guys was in the pocket on that one, man. You guys were in the pocket on that one, man.
I appreciate that, brother.
We'll get back to that in a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Y'all know who I am. Why the fuck do I have to introduce myself if y'all even listen to the show or even watch the show? Yeah, we going there today because Little Black Cup is celebrating 10 long years of roller coaster, up, down, sideways, cross pattern, fireball pattern, dragon punch pattern moves on the controller when it comes to the movements of the Starfire podcast. Again, why stop? Y'all know who the fuck I am. Y'all know what we do. Let me just get this out the way. Hooksrub.com, 20% off your order using the code START5. Now, again, anybody that eventually comes to watch, listen, today is the day after our technical yet subjective 10th anniversary of this podcast, the Starfire podcast. We got wardrobe changes going on already on the show. What the fuck? I gotta say is, man, this road has been a long one. It's been mentally tumultuous to myself. We've ran through several different changes of hosts over the years, which let me give first shouts out to my brother JP, because part of the reason for this show is him. But like always, I'm shouting my brother out live on the air because he already knows how I do. My man is at a basketball game right now instead of being here to celebrate with us. But hopefully he can eventually make it with us. And then the first woman that we had as a co-host on the show, Tara, she was busy doing personal stuff, whatever. But shouts out to both of them because they are very, very important parts of this thing that we've called the Starfire podcast. And so as the shout outs normally go around the cipher, I'm going to go to the more recent not more recent, but the last added after the other two that I mentioned, the light-skinned wonder of the world.
What's up? Yeah, man, this has been a crazy journey. I think I've been here for at least five of the 10 years. We're close to it, if not longer.
Maybe a little longer. Yeah.
Maybe a little longer. It's been dope. Met a lot of new people. Gained a lot of new family and friends. This has been a great experience for myself personally, and I just hope we continue to keep doing this, man. I look forward to this every week. This is where you can come talk about issues, problems, whatever's going on, and we can discuss it like real adults, gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? Whoever's on the cast, you know what I'm saying? So when you have a platform to express yourself with no judgment or side eye, I mean, we say some questionable shit sometimes. I'm not gonna lie, but
What you mean we?
You want to argue that?
I'm not
Let me
friends.
say
We ain't doing weed. We ain't doing weed. That's you.
You on an island with that shit?
Okay, maybe me. All right. But yeah, man, it's been a pleasure. I can't say enough about it. Me and Dan, obviously we knew each other for a long time. We've gotten closer because of this. I met some of Dan's family. You know what I'm saying? Dan's met my family. Like, it's been real. It's been real.
Oh, he met my family, all right.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Not as close as I like to be, but hey, you know what? You could from afar.
Every time I see him, I still say you said hi.
You told me that shout out, brother.
Every time.
it.
And she always laughs.
But anyway, I say all of that to say, yeah, man, it's been great. I want to do this another 10 years, wherever we're at. This is what keeps us together. Like, we come here and chop it up and just see what's going on with each other, brothers' lives, whatever they're going through, good, bad, and otherwise. Life be life, and so that's all understandable. But like I said, it's been a great run. I'm happy to be here for it. We got mad stories from, the trips we took and the shows we've been to, and the karaoke's and the cigar weeks and all that shit. So yeah, it's a lot of history here. I love it, and I can't wait to do more of it. It's been dope.
Word. Now, I'm sorry, Jamal, everybody else, but I got to get to my brother on the bottom in this introduction. I'm sorry to skip y'all. We know we normally have a rotation with this, but if it wasn't for my fucking brother right down there, my man LG, this whole podcast journey would have never started.
He's the founder? He's the founder?
No, he's not. He's the initial foundation, because how the conversation started was like, yo, I want to do a podcast. And I was like, me being an iPhone user at that, not even recognizing the icon, was like, what's a podcast? He's like, oh, it's like doing a radio show. Oh, well, I always wanted to do a radio show. Yeah, let's do it. Matter of fact, let's do it. I work down the block from a freaking Guitar Center. I'm going to buy all the first set of equipment. And we started with Talking My Team. Talking My Team moved to the fourth quarter. Then it moved to my man had to go finish his master's. I went this way with this because he had his clothing line on. We had our own personal bumps in the road and shit like that within conversations. Because being honest, I thought friends can really tell the truth to each other and how we felt towards each other. And it happened like that. And it wasn't even a true fallout, because it goes to, like I said before, we can stop speaking for a little while, but the love is never lost. Introduce yourself.
Straight up. I appreciate you guys having me on. LG from LG and the Mayor from day zero. What feels like a really, really long time ago. Just, talking shit one day, being like, tired of hearing what we've been hearing. Like, how come there's no people who talk like we talk, who feel like how we feel, who, get mad and say what we want to say? So that's kind of where this journey just took us. And we used to sit and sit inside the house and just try to be quiet and figure out mic levels. It was a real like hardcore journey in the very beginning of this.
Every bit of it.
like adding like music drops, and then at some point having like 5 other like offshoot shows. People were doing their own things too, and and now it's here. It's been a I know it's been a labor of love, and it's I'm glad it's alive and well.
Word, word. But like I said, the foundation is us two right here. And if it wasn't for us two doing what we did, it never would have evolved and morphed into what JP and I started. Who again ain't here, ain't got no kids playing at Rutgers, but he going to the Rutgers basketball game. But I digress. I always gonna shoot shots at my homie like that. But back down to the brother JG, who was added to the show after TJ.
Yo, it's
Do
been
you
dope,
remember
man.
even how it came about and coming on? Because I know you just kept asking. Like,
Yeah, I remember. I think it was around the pandemic, and is when I got into found a group, uh, both sports groups, but this one I forgot who sent me an invite, and I had known a bunch of y'all just from beefing with you over sports. You know what I mean?
and
Virtual sports, which
HHDG
was fun. Hmm? What's up?
and HHDG.
Yep, yep. And I caught the podcast a couple times, and it was one of those things that was helping me during that time during the pandemic when we didn't know what was about to happen. Um, and it helped me get through the days. I was listening to the replays while I was working virtually and stuff like that. And then I think I reached out. I forgot who I reached. Did I reach out to you directly, Dan? But I said, "No, I'd like to come on as a guest." Um,
I think TJ.
TJ, yeah,
And then you hit me up, and then it was
yeah.
like, of course, come on.
Yeah.
And then JP was on, and me and JP was always going back and forth about the Sixers and the Knicks. So it was natural. And then when I found out he lived 10 minutes from me, I didn't realize it. Like, oh, you right down the road. That's just a homie. So, but yeah, and then coming on the show, it's been dope. It's been dope to have a spot just to chop up sports, learn a lot of shit. I think my sports acumen got better from having to defend certain points and beliefs and shit like that, and from everybody. So, no, but yeah, it's been dope. It's been dope. Having a space where you can just say things. Shout out to Ed. Ed another one. You know what I mean? Um, and coming up and chopping up with brothers and having a good time on this, on whatever day we was on. It's changed a few times, and getting to meet some folks, and then that turned into other stuff. Like meeting Brian and Jay Rich and everybody else like that. At different events and Philly Cigar Week and stuff like that. So it's been a real conduit to other things, which I love. And I've always tried to, once I got in, I've always tried to pitch the group to all my homies who I was like Big O, who I go back to, 18, back in Queens. So,
Painting pools, niggas, painting pools.
painting pools in Harlem. That's what we was doing. Painting pools in Harlem, fam. Nah, it's been a dope experience just getting to know everybody and everything else. And yeah, man. I wish everyone here much success. I mean, this was not something that's easy to pull off. Dan, podcasting is hard, and I seen the ups and downs, and I commend all of you who have put years and countless hours into your life to sweat equity to make stuff like this happen. It is not an easy life producing anything like that. And putting yourself out there, saying what you got to say, saying this is how I feel and this, that, and the other, and making the work. So my hat goes off to all of you, and I was just happy to be here and have the opportunity just to chop.
Word. And like Jamal said, like he brought you in because I don't know if he put you onto the show first, but you asked him like, yo, can I get on? Can I get on? And it was like, come on. And it was like, come on. And then once again, just like the brother Tyrone who's not here today, we felt the chemistry, we felt the connection. Hey, do you want a spot? And here you are.
Yeah. I came onto the show blindly, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't Jamal introduced me to, the show, but I never watched the podcast before I got on. So I didn't so it's funny. I didn't know what to expect, man. But it was seamless, like you said. I've had a great time on the show, man. Met a lot of people. Um the comfortability we have, is that a word? comfortability we had on the show. I've had on the show, man. Is something I always remember and cherish, man. I'm looking forward to another 10 more, 10, 15, 20 more years of doing this. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Comfortability is true when you go we allow you to disappear to get the ice often. You be
Hey,
doing laundry.
I got the G-rated red cup today, man. It's I'm not gonna need any ice today, man, because it's just ginger ale in it today, man. Cool.
Word up.
But yeah,
all
man,
of this,
man, I had a
though,
good time, man.
thank you, brother. And a lot of this shit, I mean, a lot of this shit came together just off the strength of just being good humans and being good people to each other. Like the brother Fred Binns, this motherfucker here, this motherfucker is a motherfucker. And I'm gonna just say it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just off the strength of just us being good dudes. And he hit me up one day on like, yo, I see what y'all doing. Me and Seven the Panther want to do something for y'all. And then in comes the first theme song. And then it was just like, I didn't even ask him again. Maybe 2 years after that, he was like, yo, I think it's time that y'all need to upgrade. And I was like, well, cool. Just don't put nobody's names in it because the crew is changed up and has expanded. And these two motherfuckers, like I said, are motherfuckers, and gave us. I'll be biased. I don't care. The best theme songs that you've heard within podcasting.
You're not being biased, Dan. The shit is fire.
Yo, the shit is
no. There's no doubt about being fire.
This is a big rich town of podcast, man.
This shit is fire. You could just knock this all day, every day. The instrumental alone, that 808 is that shit is knocking, boy. That shit is fire, man.
So that's what our aim was, and I appreciate it.
Say hello to the people.
I'd like to talk to him later. I'd like to talk to him later about maybe doing a track for VT Heroes.
Okay. Gotcha, brother. Gotcha, man.
And this is what I do silently. It's connector. Whether people give me the props or not, connecting. Everybody expressed a little bit of ways of how I've connected in some sort of a way, and we've all was able to branch to other ideas and other shit. So please do that after. Please do that after when we close to done. When we finish, we don't run away right away. We just end the stream and then chop it up for a minute, unless niggas gotta go to the bathroom or some shit, or got chicken burning on the grill or something. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but yeah, we're gonna get back to Benz in a second because I got to get back to this guy right here in the middle. I don't want to say it being racist, the monkey in the middtle, because he ain't no monkey. But but the brother Jay Rich, man,
thinking that, man.
I know that. Just me, because that's y'all niggas know how my brain works.
I ain't gonna hold you. I was to like just give me a few more seconds, and I probably would have thought. I always think I'm saying something racist, so I don't get. I'm
but you know what I. But my man right here, like I said, we met via podcast crew that is no longer from Philadelphia. Shouts out to y'all. I'll say shouts out to the Tribbles. Yeah. Because I'm not gonna lie, though, we things happened over there, but connections. If it wasn't for them, a lot of Philly roots for me might not have been connected, even though I was an Eagles fan before I met all of y'all. But the most important bond came with this brother right here, especially with other side quest turmoil that I alerted him to and put him on to, and then and we're not talking about that, but
we ain't gonna talk about that here. We ain't gonna talk about
that. But that made our friendship get this much stronger, like in my opinion.
No, that's straight up facts. That you came to me with that and you gave me a heads up. I was like, Gucci. Like I was like, after that, me and you was tight. Like we were already cool, but like it was just like next level after that.
Absolutely. But this guy, again, from connecting via podcasting and actually a short interview when I did the Shoot the Five that Lance, you was there for when we went to the first Blackfinity Gauntlet in Philly and we talked to him and Kennedy. From that point on, he's put us down within J1 Con annually when the convention happens. There's even more shenanigans that I've described in brief detail on this episode to how that even happened. It's just crazy how our friendship built off shenanigans, Jay. But we good.
Yo, tomfoolery. Straight tomfoolery. Like, but yeah, all right. So people who don't know, I'm Jay Rich. People also know me as Spider-Man because I've done stuff for like the movies. And I do all that stuff. I make games. I'm a voice actor. I'm a director. I work on TV shows, films, anime. I work on anime. I've directed anime. I've actually voice acted anime. I created Philly's anime scene. I created J1 Con is the longest running Black-owned anime convention in the world. I'm actually noted as one of the first Black nerd podcasters ever back in 2008 when podcasting literally was coming out because I was working for Apple. I was doing designing stuff on the iPhone. I do all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I had a podcast called The Reset Button. It was a gaming podcast. And this is before you get sponsors and all that stuff. And it was getting thousands of downloads a day. Like, it was a really popular show, and I didn't know that. Because we didn't have those analytics like we do now with, like, podcasting and YouTube and all that. And then I was one of the founding members of the first Black nerd radio show, like live radio show, like on AM and FM radio, Black Triples. And throughout that and inventing cosplay prom that now all of the major Comic-Cons have, but they don't want to give Black man his credit. Doing stuff with Cartoon Network, inventing.
They never do.
Never. Inventing, like I started the trend of having celebrities make videos that they're going to be at conventions because I knew no one believed that a Black man had an anime convention and voice actors from the shows. So I started making that part of the contract. Next you know, other cons, even like New York Comic Con, started having their celebrities doing videos. I'm like, y'all don't need it. I do. Like, and did the first commercial for like TV and cable for a convention with J1 Con because we would have the prize for our cosplay contest. You'd be on our Cartoon Network commercial. Like I was doing like, I created the term Pie Negro, which is now all over the place. Like
that part.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I worked on a lot of different stuff. You literally can Google me. I'm in the Encyclopedia of Black Comics. It's an encyclopedia about influential black folk in the comic book industry. They mentioned my radio shows and all that other stuff. I know I'm going on because I got a lot of stuff. But I also, sang for the Mouse. I do stuff with the WB. I was doing that Furiosa stuff.
That's dope.
And then I'm working on a project with a show that's on HBO Max that I'll tell you about afterwards. I'm afraid to say it publicly because I might jinx myself. But the show's out.
But I had to bring the brother here because again, he's been an integral part of just our story as the Star 5 podcast and stuff like that. And again, to openly always invite us every year to do something at J1 Con is a big deal to me. Yeah. To me, I know it's been a big deal to TJ, and then TJ every time we was doing it, he was right there. Then Jamal was fucking stuck in Japan. We had a pass ready for him and everything. We thought he was gonna make it. We didn't know he was stuck. No, we were actually stuck in China on the connect and couldn't make it. And then we found out at right. And then we found out at J1Con that Big O is not bigger than me.
Yeah.
He lied to all of us, yo. He lied to all of us. That shit
He's
was
like
really
medium
funny.
O. He's more like a medium O. Like,
He's a lowercase O.
In
between lowercase and uppercase.
In a West African and Jamaican family, man, I'm huge. I'm
Jamaican too.
When are you gonna lose weight?
Listen. As a fellow Jamaican, yeah, there's no middle ground. You short, you tall. There's no image. No
Word up. But I had to bring my collective of brothers together because all of y'all played an important piece to this puzzle, man. All of y'all been a part of an important piece to this puzzle, man. And like, again, going back to LG, man, like the start of all of this thing, the start of this whole podcast journey, like you said, man, like we went from you was coming to my apartment over here when I first moved back to Staten Island, and that was when we decided to start this shit. And I bought that fucking, I don't even remember the brand mixer I bought. And like you mentioned, recording trouble. And then to learn that I fucking bought a mixer with a channel that was completely dead to where every time we played the show, we heard each other, but one person always sounded like they was in the back of the room. And it just taught so much about just recording and equipment and shit like that. And then like you went through all of those bumps and bruises and stuff. And then we did the virtual thing. Buying the Skype call recorder before StreamYard, before Zoom was a thing, before, it was just fucking like we went through all of this shit.
I remember that Skype shit.
Just talking football.
Yeah, I forgot what that program was called, but I know we had to like dial in like a code. We had to do like **1 to start the recording and like **6 to stop the recording.
Oh yeah, the conference calling.
The conference calling app.
That was another tool that you pulled out, discovered that we ended up using. Like, man, like I said, all the bumps in the road that led to where we were at now is because me and him laid the groundwork for this shit.
Sure enough. It was definitely a road.
Is it weird that I look at y'all as like my children sometimes? Like I'm like, look at all these black podcasts, so grown. Look at them, my boys out
here. I mean, when you laid it out,
that makes sense why you in the middle,
right?
Jay Rich is like, oh, they're walking and talking now. I'm so proud of them.
Right.
Look at him eating from his own plate. Look at he's such a big boy.
Using a real spoon.
He can feed and bathe themselves. Lord help him. Yes.
Oh, watch out, ladies.
Don't need to throw Cheerios in the toilet bowl. They know how to piss on their own.
Yeah, right. Like he's so grown. Look at him. Hey, but yeah, no, it's crazy. Like I can't believe, like, even like for you guys, like it's 10 years already. I'm looking at myself like, how old am I? Like,
right. Well, to put it in perspective,
this Jamaican Panamanian thing right here ain't aging because they be asking me questions on every interview. Like they keep calling me a young mogul, and I'm like, young where? Like, and
just to put it in perspective, right? On how long we've been doing this, we celebrated 2 niggas turning 50. Them 2. We celebrated 2 brothers turning 50 on this show. It's the truth. Yeah, it's the truth, no? All right.
Listen, none of y'all look old. So own it. You know what I mean? We vampires out here. You know what I'm saying?
I tell the 38-year-olds anyway, so.
There you go. I'm running into people who I thought was my age because I'm I'm up there. I'm on my way to 50. We ain't gonna go into exact numbers, but we going up there.
We all are.
But it's funny because I met people like when I do my appearances or whatever, and like I'll meet them and I'll be like thinking they my age, and they're like 24. I'm like, what did you do?
Right? How hard was your fucking life?
Right?
But I want to go back to like the recording troubles, like Benz, like as a music beat maker / producer, like I'm sure you've experienced a lot of the same recording troubles over the years, like in how LG and I like even started with all this shit. Because I got to even go back because JP's not here to even bring it up, but like with JP and I, because again, distance, but we've maintained the consistency of doing the show to a point. We went to even as far as we were using Blog Talk and talking over the fucking phone to record this show. Like we was on some by any means necessary shit. And I know at the middle row right here is all creators. JG does movies. Rich does everything. But Benz, I want you to go from the music end, and then Jamal. I mean, just on the creative end, like overcoming these bumps in the road to get to where you're at now type shit.
Man, it's been a learning curve for sure, in addition to trial and error, from the quality of speakers, mixer, different tools that's out there, because there's a lot of them now, a whole lot of tools out there. So just finding one that's fits what you're doing. It hasn't been an easy road. And then I had to actually send equipment to like some of the artists I work with because they were working with stuff that outdated, archaic. So like I said, trial and error, doing a lot of research on a lot of, equipment, and then of course cost. That always plays a factor. So, just doing something that's cost effective but it helps you along in your creative process, man, because you want things to sound good. I mean, if it don't sound good in my truck, I don't use it. You know what I'm saying? So that's the starting point for me.
So
if I put it in my truck.
What was the tools you use? What was the tools you used to create our theme songs?
I use a lot of Adobe products, like Adobe Audition. That's like one of my go-tos. That's like the lifeblood of my creation. And I noticed through conversation with Apollo Brown, he uses a lot of it too. So just using that, getting more proficient, more efficient. Going from basic to intermediate at least. Expert is going to take some time, but working with stuff like that, Fruity Loops is still in my back pocket. I do a lot of Reason, Acid Pro. Like I said, there's a lot of tools out there. You just gotta, find the one that really works for you and really makes sense. Because, like I said, I've turned a lot of people on. So
my bad.
Yeah, no, you good. Yeah.
I was gonna say I definitely am a cracked Fruity Loops user back in the old PC days.
Mm-hmm.
But Jamal, like again, like you've been a part. I mean, you've been a part of this to where from StreamYard on. So, but I mean, even in your movie production, like you can relate to what we went through as far as the creation and start of this podcast and your beginnings of like movie creation and stuff like that.
Yeah, man. Just like what Fred said, a lot of it's trial and error. The technology changing at a rapid pace. You trying to learn it on the fly. I mean, I made some big mistakes, but learn from them. You know what I'm saying? But trying to, keep pace with an industry that's changing, that's growing all the time, and you gotta switch up every time, the trends change. So it's been a long journey. I can completely identify with that. I mean, I've gone through having several partners to being solo now to about to open my own production company, and you had learning to tell stories in different formats. Whether I went to school for movies, but I found that my calling was more for TV. You know what I mean? Episodic or something like that. And doing web stuff, documentaries, music videos and whatever. So you just, you adapt to the medium that presents itself to you, and you continue to tell the story within that medium. But it's just it's trial and error, and it's hills and valleys, man. And sometimes the valleys is real low, but you got to climb yourself out of it, and just take it on the chin and keep going, because it's a labor of love, But you
So
stick with, you stay
back to
steady.
the Pie
It can
Negro.
fruition. Yeah.
So back to the Pie Negro, and where I just specifically want to talk to you about like you said, you were a Pie Negro in like podcasting. So like, what was some of your early that you remember you guys was like utilizing when you started?
Well, my family has always been in the music industry, from operas to a cappella groups. I was always just being on tour, so I knew equipment. You know what I mean? Like, it was. There was no social media at the time. Social media wasn't a thing. So yeah, Instagram and all that stuff. They're just like, look at me. Like,
there was Black Planet and Mi Gente and shit like that, but not the social media that we are of today.
Yeah. There was quote unquote social media, but it wasn't like stuff that even back then, like, it didn't have the reach. The internet didn't have the reach that it does now. Right. Because I've worked on stuff like, now, put it like this. I did art for Spider-Man 2. You ain't never gonna find out about that, because like, that was before the real internet era. You know what I mean? Like, so like, that stuff didn't get documented. So getting outreach was the biggest problem. I mean, it was crazy that I didn't realize we did get one, because there wasn't many platforms back then. You had Podomatic. That was it. Like, there was Podomatic, and Apple was creating their iTunes, like their podcast section of iTunes, but it wasn't like a real dedicated. It was the Wild West back then. Like, you know what I mean?
Let me ask you guys a question, because the tools now that you have available weren't. It's like you guys were found fire, but now there's blowtorches and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was nothing available like that. And I tell my daughter this all the time. She's 26. Like, to look for a job, you had no internet. Like, you had to go to the library. You had to use a microfiche. You had to go.
You had to use the middle of the newspaper.
I ain't heard that word in a hot minute.
You had to go.
I had to remember what the fuck that was for a second.
Son, the classified ads was my job search.
Yeah, like, these kids don't know what it took to get your name or get whatever you were looking for out there. The options weren't available. Like, I had friends who got into businesses because their family members or they knew somebody they grew up with in that business to make money to get a job or something like that. It was more relational, who you knew. I mean, local. A lot of it, yeah, and local. And a lot of it's still who you know, but the opportunities to get your reach, like you said, there was no internet. You can get a job in another country right now or in another state if you wanted to right now. That wasn't available to you. You had to move out to where you was moving to, then find a job, find a place to live, and all that shit from scratch. That shit was hard.
I give you a taste of that reality, like how weird it was. Like, now that I'm sitting here talking to fellow people of the times, I didn't realize on a Pie Negro tip how much stuff I was doing that was like first timey. Back in 2005, because I was working for a tech solutions company, but we had international branches. There was no office. I've been working from home since 2005. People just started working from home when the pandemic happened. Like, and you would know that because when you came to Philly, I was readily available because like I did my job for the hour or whatever, and I would just like go about my business. And we do stuff on the podcast and all that other stuff, go to different events. But like, just to get your brand out there, if you wanted it to get off of technically like your block, you had to pay thousands of dollars to get that kind of outreach.
You needed a street team. You needed a street team, basically.
Yeah.
And flyers. People don't know what flyers are no more. You know what I'm saying? There's no such thing as
do flyers. I don't even care. I still like
Yeah, Lance knows about the flyers. Remember the joints I made up for my birthday party, son? remember the birthday party flyers, Lance, from Easy Pass, and the fucking bug out. Oh, he can't even hear me right now, probably. But yeah, we know about them party flyers for sure.
And then here's the other thing. Now I can go online, make a simple post, put it online. I don't even have to necessarily pay for a boost or anything like that. And cats in China can follow it and get that information.
It's all about Uncle Algorithm.
You know how many zeros, like, because working in the comic book industry and stuff like that, you know how many zeros it would cost you to get something in Asia? Like,
right.
You might as well buy a new car. And to get a new car. Like, there you go.
And to get it through fucking China's strict internet policy type shit. Like, yeah, Uncle Algorithm is working like a motherfucker.
People don't realize how crazy it is now, like how powerful the internet is. Like, when you had to learn a skill from, like, I was blessed to have family in the music industry, so I knew about sound and I went to school as a kid for film and all that, so I knew that stuff. But now you can be on the toilet, get on YouTube, and get a whole college course for free. You normally, to get that, you'd have to try and get accepted at the college, put you in financial turmoil for the next 10 to 20 years, and maybe come back with a quarter of that information that kid that just hopped on his toilet to look at YouTube got. You know what I'm saying?
I gotta do that. I gotta do that to learn my SP404, Ben's. Like, YouTube University is a fucking thing. My uncle told me he gave me his starter bass guitar, which I haven't really put no work into, and then gave me the channel that he learned how to play bass off of.
Yeah,
but that's retired life also affords you a lot of that fucking time, which I'm 2 years away
like
from.
Time is one thing, but just know that information is readily available in a click. You can get that information in your hands in under a minute. When to get that information, you had to go to a school probably way out of state on the other side of the country for 4 years. Like, you now going like, boop, boop. All right, I got it. I know how to do it. Like,
listen, I work in IT, and I tell the people I work with all the time, Google is your friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta
there with you, T.
You gotta use it, man. You gotta use it. It astounds me that people coming to me and still ask for directions. I'm like, yo, take your phone, put in Google Maps, and punch in the address. I'm sure it'll get you there way better than I can explain it.
TJ, remember your password lady stories.
Oh my god!
Gosh.
Oh my god, son! I just don't want to. Don't bring that up, man.
I'm not. So, but I mean, but even just on the creative tip, because my brother LG, he picked up some shit that I started doing before I started podcasting, and like my man's on the way to a photo shoot now. So like, I mean, technology influences stuff and doing photography now, Lance. Like,
I completely agree, man. Just going from podcasting to having a clothing line, and I remember doing like our merch shirts and shit, and like you designing stuff, and like we going through designs, and now I get some days I get paid to go, take pictures of people doing shit because they just like the way my pictures look. But I'm like, I'm not doing anything special. I'm just kind of capturing the world the way I see it. But I guess it's unique to them, which I appreciate because, my day job is I teach African American literature in a high school, and I'm an English teacher. That's how I make my living. That's how I afford my meager lifestyle. So,
Son,
Follow me on
and
OnlyFans.
funny and funny enough you said that, because I'm gonna bring up one of our like very tiny tumultuous points in the podcasting game. Remember when I made the advertisement talking about support us black creators, and then we had our little dispute where he was like, yo, but we can't exclude people, and I was like, you know what, you right, but also I had to kick it to you like, yo, it don't hurt to identify to support the fucking brothers. And now you teaching African American literature.
Yep, of course, that I created from scratch, no less. But no, I get it, and I think it speaks to kind of what Jay Rich was saying about like you're a pioneer out of necessity, because like, remember you used to have to like help your parents do something, and your dad pulled out like a Bob Vila book. and now you can go on TikTok and type in like, hey, I mean, shit, you could. There's an AI app where you could scan the ingredients on your counter, and they can tell you what to cook.
Man, listen, I think we all grew up with our parents watching. I forgot the old British lady's name, and Yan Can Cook.
Oh yeah.
PBS.
Oh, Julia Childs.
I think
Julia
Childs, and motherfucking Yan Can Cook. I think all of our parents.
That was that Channel 13 Wonderland right there.
Yeah.
Word up. But before we move on, though, I wanted to drop this little video. It's about close to 4 minutes, but I had some of the homies like reach out and just show us some love real quick.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your boy Lou from the BX, host of the Everything Podcast, and I just want to come through here, send a shout out to my man Dan the Mayor Dinkins on 10 years. Congratulations, bro. 10 years in the podcast game, showing everybody how it's done, coming through with the episodes on a weekly basis. Consistency is key, as you've always taught me. And I've known Dan going on about 8 years now, man. We met up through the podcasting game. We rock stages together. We've podcasted together. We've had deep conversations together, man. And I appreciate you. I appreciate the show. I'm always there, lurking in the chat. I may not participate most times. I just like to listen, man. I'm more of a listener these days than a podcaster, really. But I appreciate your show, man. I appreciate you guys' perspectives. And keep going, bro. Just get another 10 years in. Let's show everybody how it's done, bro. And I wish you nothing but success in another continued 10 years of podcasting, bro. And gang banging.
Hey, wanted to wish the fellas at the Starting Five a happy anniversary. It's been, 10 years? Is hoping that you have another decade of one of the funniest, one of the best, one of the most unique podcasts and voices out there. Wishing you the best, and it's been an honor to participate and jump in and, be a part of the show. So here's to you guys. Peace.
The Starting Five podcast, 10-year anniversary. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Brian from the UWO podcast. Can't really see because of the seatbelt and shit all up in the way. But no, first and foremost, man, congratulations. 10 years doing podcasting is a huge milestone for anybody. There is nothing but love coming from this direction. You know us Rhode Island boys got nothing but love for y'all New Yorkers, which is weird because of the sports history and, all that good stuff. But when it comes to you guys, man, thank you for allowing me to be a part of your show. Thank you for allowing me to feel like I'm comfortable and I ain't just some guest on the show. It does feel like family. And this podcasting community, it's a great camaraderie that we all have. I've had the opportunity to meet most of y'all in person. So first and foremost, Big O, Much love to you, brother. Hopefully one day we can all link up and we can sit here and talk about how bad our football teams are and reminisce on the good old days where, you know, my team was dominant and your team got lucky with 2 wins. Jamal, it was a brief meeting when we met in person, my brother, but much love to you. And if we ever meet again, you got to show me where the hell Ishtar is. I've been putting it on my GPS and for some reason I just can't find it. TJ, super chill dude, always hilarious, great takes on sports and politics. And when we meet up again, we definitely got to figure out whose gummies are better because my gummies don't give me the effect that yours do. Lispa, my dog. Next time you come back to the UW studios, and you know the studios will be opening very soon. See you soon. Bring that title belt back because, you know, last time you were here, you left with that belt via disqualification. So we got to figure out another way to defend that title. But nah, man, you're hilarious. Much love. Keep doing what you're doing, my brother. And then, of course, Dan the Mayor. You already know, brother. We have been linked up for the past couple of years, and we both are in the same situation when it comes to these shows. We understand the hustle, the struggle, the promotion, and all that good stuff, man. You are phenomenal at what you do. Never stop. All 5 of y'all, man, keep doing what you're doing. Here's to 10 years, and here's to another 10. I will gladly see y'all brothers very, very soon. Much love. Y'all take care. Stay easy.
Thank you to the brothers. Thank you to who did we lose?
Very
We
dope.
lost.
Very dope.
I knew we was gonna end up losing my brother Lance because he had, you know, he was on the move and stuff, so connections are gonna drop. But there he goes.
I'm bad.
Nah, all good, all good. I knew he was gonna lose you for a minute. See you at the train station there, but yeah, man. Thank you to the brothers, fucking Big Lou from the BX. He was one of the first people I reached out to when we got the opportunity to do what we did at J1Con back at the back on the stage of the former House of Blues. So that's another thing. If you want to talk Pioneer Negro shit, how many podcasters out there, yet black podcasters, could say that they worked the stage of the House of Blues, formerly known as the House of Blues, doing the show?
Right.
Not many. Lou was there for that. And then shouts out to the homie Ed. He always comes through. Much valued contributor to this show each and every time that brother comes on. Shouts out to him and his boy, the Ed and Fuzz show. And then, of course, the homie Brian from the UWO podcast. I did promise them, yo, this year, we as a team, we gotta get to Rhode Island. We gotta get to Rhode Island to go with them in person, to just kick it and have a bug out with them in person, and also work with our brother Carl and Victor from the Codex Prime podcast. Which, Jay, I think you was on their show before, which they didn't realize. I've invited them to J1, but Rhode Island Comic Con always kind of crashed coursed with J1 Con, so they never came through. I invited them.
I want to go to Rhode Island.
Exactly. But we got to go up there and kick it with them because it's also the 10-year anniversary of Codex Prime too. So shout out to them brothers over there, man. But like Brian briefly mentioned, was okay. Well, we'll announce that. But ups and downs within this shit, ups and downs within this whole process, like. And I want to go to TJ because, you know, I'll talk in a minute, but like, and then I'm gonna get to everybody else with their ups and downs within their processes. And I already expressed how Lance and I's ups and downs happened at the beginning of all of this shit. Like it became personal, but not that personal because, like I said, still internally to me, I thought brothers should be able to talk to each other as honest as possible. And that's what it eventually ironed out to be. And I love that brother to death, no matter fucking what. You know what I'm saying? I'll never ever forget in his former marriage that he made me his best man just off the strength of I've always been a great guy to him. But brothers are still gonna have bumps in the road. I've literally had one fight with my real brother, maybe two legitimate fights with my real brother. You know what I'm saying? Where brothers are supposed to be able to do that. But ups and downs within this thing. But like TJ and then Jamal, like y'all remember the time that I had to break down because it just became a mental strain of I don't know if this can continue anymore. I personally allowed numbers, lack of support. You know, when you think that your friends are going to be the ones to help you out and boost your signal. I've learned over the years that don't even think about that. But then when I came back and came back stronger, I developed the fuck it gene. And it don't matter if people are watching now because we're going to do what we're going to do. But have y'all within y'all, like TJ, again, I think you've been at least here for at least 6 of the 10. At least that. Because remember when I first put out, like, yo, we need help. You was the first person to fucking respond, like, yo, however I could get down. And I strategically waited to be like, yo, once I find that time to get you, we're going to get you. Oh, you came in the latest except for Tyrone. But you were there for when I said, yo, I need to shut this down. You know what I'm saying? So
that
speak on like those ups and downs type shit.
Yeah, that was a little frustrating because I felt like you were giving up, and I'm like, there's no need for that. You know what I'm saying? We're here, we're supporting you. We do what family do when your family's down, right? We boost them up. We talk about all the positives. We like I tell everybody, every day ain't gonna be rainbows, but every day ain't gonna be a shitstorm either, right? You got to find some kind of balance, and that's what it's about. It's balance. And like you said, this podcasting shit ain't easy. There's like 1 million podcasts out there. There's a podcast for damn near everything. If you want it, you'll find it. And you just got to find your niche in that, whatever it may be, however popular it is or how unpopular it is or who's finding it. I'm sure there's thousands of starting five, a group like us that we don't know about that just doing the same shit on a Sunday morning or Saturday.
Yeah, we do. Remember that five heartbeats mainstream starting five that came out. We said, "Whoa!"
Like, man, the starting whites. The starting whites. Remember, right?
It was a DEI hire. It was a
DEI
hire.
It was looking extra pasty in there. I don't know. But yeah, yo, it's crazy, right? Because the head of Voltron was down, but we never stopped talking amongst ourselves and in the group chats, you know, still thinking, you know, how we can keep this going, you know, and whenever we knew that, you know, whenever Dan was ready, you know what I'm saying, we was gonna pick up like we never left.
Right.
You know, I've had friends of mine, you know, asking like, man, you do this every Sunday, like, you know, you think this is gonna, you know, why do you do it? You know, and I'm like, yo, it's part of my weekend now. I enjoy it. I look forward to doing it. You know, and I work my schedule around it. You know, and that's what it is, man.
No doubt.
You know?
Yeah, it's all of that because, like you said, this shit ain't easy, and you literally have to carve out time. And people are like, you have a podcast? I'm like, yeah, I'll tell you about it, but I'm only telling you about it because if I ask you to check it out, it's going to be hit or miss, right? It's either you're going to check it out or you'll be like, oh, he does a podcast, and that'll be the end of the conversation. I leave that on
one of them podcast niggas, the new slander. The new slander. Oh, you one of them podcast niggas.
That's on you. It's not on me.
At least y'all get that. At least y'all got that. I would get, what's a podcast?
Oh no!
Because remember, I was doing this stuff when podcasting was like brand new.
Yeah,
like YouTube was like a year old. Like you know what I'm saying? People don't realize like all this stuff is like even iPhone, even smartphones. All that stuff came around 2007.
Yeah,
that's when I was doing my podcast, and people were like, what the heck's a podcast? And I'm like, well, it's like a radio show, but it's pre-recorded, and you can actually listen to it from your iPhone, which not everybody had an iPhone. So it was just like, wah, wah.
But it also allows you to speak your opinions without judgment, right? Like you can come in here and say how you feel or how you want, and it gives you that freedom that you can't say shit here that you can say in the office, right? You can say shit here that you can't say at church, or you can say shit here you can't say around certain family members, right? So like, this is what gives you that freedom to be yourself in your own space. This is your safe space to be who you are. Yeah.
And it gave you that freedom, not just within family and work and all that stuff. Remember, I've worked in the radio scene. You would get thousands of dollars of fines every time you said the wrong thing.
Yeah, that part. That part.
Like,
there's no FCC for podcasts. There's no FCC for podcasting, right?
Yeah, you curse. You would curse. I remember it would be like a $1,500 fine for every time you curse.
Damn. That's $1,500 right there.
Right.
That's crazy.
Everything you think is not a curse because it's not like the big ones. It's still a curse.
Yeah.
Right.
That's like the Tetas the
Tetas hat. the Houston assholes hat.
Oh yeah,
the assholes hat and the Los Angeles anals. If y'all haven't seen those hats, I'm so mad I caught on to that shit late because I would have bought every one of them. And none of them are Yankees hats. They ain't my team. But I would have bought all of them joints.
Listen, the University of South Carolina has the best hat out, and it'll ever be forever. Cox, just Cox? Right across the front.
Yeah,
just
but
leaving nothing to the imagination. They're just like, here we are.
But I mean, Bins, like bumps in the road too, Bins, on like on your end of shit. Because again, you're not in the podcast space, but in the music space, like you can understand these like starts and stops, and just off a creative sense of things. It's like as a creator, like even before this, like Lance remembers the time when I got Paul stiffed on a party. DJing a party for this bitch that we used to work with at Easy Pass. That would make me say like, yo, I'm not DJing parties no more. But then me as a person, I've always needed that creative itch to then turn on the turntables to make a mixtape.
Correct.
Or then pick up the camera, do a photo shoot. Or do edits and stuff like that. Like that creative itch kind of always needs to be there, which leads to those big amount of start and stops and damn, do I want to do this again? Do I need to continue this again? I'm not seeing shit from this. But then you build the fucking team like I did.
Also,
it's tough.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, TJ.
No, I was going to say. Go ahead. I was going to say, we've been doing this for 10 years, right? Look how far the technology has advanced from 10 years ago to now, right? The ability to us be all together talking like this at this point, when 10 years ago, we couldn't even do that.
Right. Yeah, man. That's the beauty of it. Yeah, that's the beauty of it. You know, being able to have, technology like this where we got, a room full of brothers that got a lot of ambition, a lot of, drive, right? Because life be lifing. And we said that earlier, man. Life be lifing, man. And I got 5 brothers, man. So, being in a house full of men, no women, you know what I'm saying?
That's a lot of testosterone, bro. That's a lot of testosterone, bro. Come on, man. The competitive juices is heavy, right? You know what I'm saying? From anything, you know what I'm saying? Something as small as, before the game systems came out, playing Monopoly got crazy, Uno, all these things, man. So, just the, touch on technology, right? Because I'm in the IT field. I've been in there 20 plus, you know what I'm saying? So, This is kind of converted over to me being a producer, beat maker, whatever. I consider myself more of a producer because,
I create music that's going to be feel good, to where I know what artists I would like to have on the track, that's going to ride the beat like it should, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, some producers get lazy, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go into, exactly what producers I think are lazy today, but there are some that are lazy, you know what I'm saying, that don't even want to use drums anymore, that kind of stuff. So it makes it frustrating. I mean, because there's always a level of frustration in anything you do, you know what I'm saying, that you either going to let it keep you down or you're going to do something about it. So when the state of hip hop was starting to, go a different direction, everybody was up in arms when Nas came out with Hip Hop Is Dead, all of that, I wanted to do something about it. Now, my brother that's under me, he got into it like a few years before I did, but I was always the one feeding him the music because he's 6 years younger than me. So that 70s era, man, whole lot of gems in there, man. And I stay there a lot. You know what I'm saying? Everybody be like, man, you only X amount of years old. What you know about that? I grew up in a music family too, man. My grandmother worked at the cleaners 2 blocks from Motown. I'm really from Detroit. So, I saw Marvin Gaye before he passed, as a kid. I saw that his grandmother lived diagonally from my grandmother, on the same street. So, stuff like that, it's nostalgic to see that certain, artists are still going today. I was right around the birth of hip hop. I seen the beginnings, how Rakim changed the game with the slow rap, you know what I'm saying? And, a lot of people didn't like that because everybody wanted to rap fast and all of that. It's still a thing today, but the ups and downs are just dealing with, fans that think they know hip hop and don't have no clue about it. They might have listened to two albums 2 years ago and they think they know hip hop all of a sudden. Everybody know 88. If you was born around that time, man, you had a plethora of artists that were coming out with fire. I mean, Run DMC was still heavy. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things of just going through it, seeing it, hip hop, sports, all of that. Like I said, I'm in a house of 5 men, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, when the game systems came out, all of that, we were heavy on it. We were heavy, I'm telling you. I mean, we got so desperate when the Nintendo came out. We got one from the return bin because they were sold out. We suffered from it because that whole pause blowing into the cartridge. Yeah. That was an everyday fact for us. You know what I'm saying? So to see a lot of things kind of, develop into something bigger, just talking about, job applications, just to TJ's point, classifieds, we about to be empty nesters, man. My youngest is 17. He about to graduate this year. He played baseball. So we're trying to change that narrative as far as that, because it ain't enough of us in baseball. You know what I'm saying? Nope, they go right to DR, they go right to Cuba.
Not like it used to be. That's right.
To, Colombia, whatever. They don't even look through the states no more, man. So, I told my son, be the standard, man, in terms of bringing it back to the states to where they're looking at us as black men, knowing that we can play the sport, because every sport we touch, we dominate. So right. let's just keep it a buck on that. You know what I'm saying? So, to your point, Dan, the ups and downs, like I said, it's been a roller coaster ride on some things, because like I said, life be lifing. I was unemployed for a little bit, try to find, work to support my family, in addition to support, what I love to do, you know what I'm saying? But I've always been around music. I've always enjoyed it, you know what I'm saying? And, because it makes you feel good, man. It's a feeling, right?
So I just got a side note on your Nintendo statement. YouTube University taught me that when people used to say that, that blowing in the cartridge did nothing. I learned that actually that blowing in the cartridge did work, because getting the dust off and sometimes the occasional moisture from blowing on the disc helped the connectors that made it work. So fuck
Correct.
you, people who said blowing on the cartridge didn't work because
They didn't play
we
games,
all,
Dan, because that shit worked
exactly.
every time, bro.
And no, but TJ, it didn't work every time because everybody's tricks didn't work on another person's system.
Correct.
I don't know
Correct.
why that was.
Yeah.
I have
Correct.
no clue still to this day why that was. But
Still a
exactly, Jay. But if
Listen.
I
Yes.
blew on that cartridge a certain way, Jamal, it wouldn't work
Listen.
for me, but Jason, it will work for because it was his. I don't
I see you,
understand it.
baby.
We'll never.
Dog, I have folks that was telling me that by blowing it, you was gonna ruin it. The first time I blew in that Ikari Warrior shit, and I put that joint in, it started working. That was it for me. I was sold.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
So
That's
that was
right.
it. So
Yeah, we played a lot of Metroid,
Mario
man.
Warriors, baby.
yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir.
Ralph and Clark, baby. Ralph and Clark.
Yeah, no
Mhm.
doubt. We played a lot of
Lance,
Metroid, man. So we was pissed when that Metroid didn't work. You know what I'm saying? So
Man,
yeah,
that's right. Yes, sir. So,
Yep.
but yeah, man, the ups and downs, you know, it's part of the territory. You just got to keep doing it, man. And
no
you
doubt.
know, I
No doubt.
remember Dan when that was happening, man. We was texting back and forth, and what I learned, just you know, in my experience is I used to always compare myself to how my contemporaries and some of my peers doing the same thing was doing, and where they were, and why wasn't I there. And when I adopted the fuck it gene, I got much happier, bro, and things started to progress more because what I've learned is when it's your time, but you got to keep doing it because when they come look for you, you got to be doing it. You know what I'm saying? If you stop it,
exactly.
that's it. So, and I got much
Also-
happier with that. You know what I mean?
Also, you can't care about what everybody thinks. You know what I'm saying? Because that'll fuck your head up.
Yeah.
That'll fuck your head up to a point where you just convince yourself to not do it anymore. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
You can't. You gotta take the people that care about you and trust their opinions more than just the general public or somebody who's just chirping in their 2 cents. So
Because
you
everybody
gotta-
got an opinion, man. Especially
Yeah.
folks that ain't doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And they
Like
they
Lance.
always got an opinion.
Hey, Lance, because we was on the video game shit, I wanted to ask: is Michael Jackson still burnt in your sister's TV, as you told me?
Michael Jackson's Moonwalker was such a staple in my crib that I couldn't turn it off to stop playing it. So I just paused the shit, go make something to eat, come back. She's like, "Yo, get off that game." I'm like, all right, cool. 15 more minutes. Play 15 more minutes. Pause it. It always been like hitting the move or something. So literally, like the TV, that shit was Michael Jackson.
Yeah, that was an underrated game, man. That was a severely underrated game, bro.
But before we
was the arcade version. The arcade version was hands down.
Yeah, no
But
doubt.
before we lose you to the you know, when the train briefly goes underground and the ferry because service is shit there. The ups and downs between, like I said, I already described our ups and downs, right? But the transition from the podcasting to the clothing line while trying to achieve your masters, like
it was a difficult road, man. Some days I just, everything was just compounded. We kind of didn't know which way was up at points, but you kind of just got to keep pushing because nobody's gonna have you like you gonna have you. So you got to believe in you first, for everybody else has to believe. Career-wise, I knew what I had to do to keep going in my career, and here we go.
word. This guy, this guy, man, like every other day, either Facebook or Instagram, which go follow Black Man Behind the Cam. He's got kids coming back to him to show their level of appreciation for what he's done as a teacher so far. You know what I'm saying? And that's the type of shit that like you always want people coming back. So that's where I gotta give love to like people like Lou. Though if we want to talk transgressions and stuff and ups and downs, like I even had one with Lou by way of wrestling is trash. No need to get into the story, but I still respect what those brothers are doing over there, man. And I just throughout other people, and like I said, Jason and I went through Oh, I say Jason had something going on that, again, we're not speaking on it, but when we're talking about turmoils and ups and downs and stuff, he saw out of me what a true friend riding with you should look like, with all the ups and downs and shit and things like that happen. Because like I remember from that year's J1 Con, like the first invites I sent out to people with the idea I had of the multicultural podcast, bringing multicultural podcasters together, you know, where it wasn't just us black folks, but it was predominantly black folk, but you had a white co-host, Hispanic co-host, whatever co-host. Your crew was mixed. To see people try to distance themselves over lies was crazy. But again, Jason, like I said, it's we're talking about the ups and downs, and the fact that we've known each other now for probably like 6 years now, if that, maybe a little longer now. But again, that solidified our friendship type shit. That big major up and down. That once again, people, it never sunk the fucking ship. Niggas tried, and it never sunk.
We definitely knew each other along in that, because I was doing the stuff at Amalgam, and you were like the beginning of the
Black so City. that might have been like actually, if that was 2015, we've known each other this whole journey then. Or 2016 when that happened.
Yeah,
because we were still fresh.
I was like, because the radio show started in 2011. My gaming podcast started in like 2008. But I know we've talked to you on the show. Like you were a call in and all that when we were. This is before video.
Late night drive to Philly.
Video with podcasts. You could do all
late
that
night
stuff.
drive to Philly to be on the show. All of that.
Yeah. Also, pro wrestling. Come at me.
Shout out to Starman.
Classic. King Slender, baby.
King Kong Corn. Yeah.
Fighting
Starman.
Starman was that gato. Yeah.
Starman.
No doubt.
I've been in this industry long. I feel like Danny Glover and Lethal Weapon.
I'm getting tired of this shit.
Too old for this shit.
But like,
it was sad. He was only 40. You know what I'm saying?
Right. He wasn't even old.
And he's 60 back then. That goes to the 80s.
I feel like he was older in Predator 2.
Yes. Look. Him and Morgan Freeman, they were born old. Like that's you never saw them young. Like he came out the womb as an old man and just stayed an old man.
Like, Morgan Freeman been 62 since 78, bro.
Right. He looked like a 12th grader at 1.
Right. Then after that,
you probably throw Lou Gossett in there too.
That's right.
Yeah, throw Lou Gossett in there.
Yeah. He professionally old. Like
professionally old.
That's a great quote.
Yeah, but like there was a lot of hardships doing it when people didn't know what it was, but then when it started to take traction, I got chastised even in working in anime, working in games, working in comics, all that stuff. I was always told amongst my own people that I was trying to be white. That was the thing that I got because they didn't see black faces or hear black voices in a lot of these industries. Now, mind you, in Disney, because I was going to be an animator over at Disney, there were well-known, like Lloyd is like the oldest animator for Disney. I think he's still alive too. And as a brother, like they even did a documentary on him. Like he retired, but they allow him access to the animation studios whenever he wants, because that's just his thing. He likes to draw. But like a lot of people only knew when it comes to this information scene, it still falls under pop culture and, in a sense, nerd culture. The only example people got of that was Steve Urkel. People don't realize people
Valid.
only saw Steve Urkel was the weird one black guy that wasn't a thug. And every other form of media portrayed black and brown as thugs, except for that one character. And they'd be like, well, that's a made up character. So that's not real. Because I dealt with that with building a convention in Philly, talking to hotels, showing them I've had other events around the city from concerts, all this stuff, showing diversity without it being woke, like just like here's like people coming together having a blast. No harm, no foul. And they actually hit me with, ooh, we don't want a thug convention here. Because they didn't know that black nerds existed. They didn't know black folk like podcasts. They didn't know black nerds like comic books. They didn't know black nerds like black folk like anime. It honestly, that wasn't, even when I started getting we were doing the covers for like the newspapers and NPR was talking about, they didn't even know, they didn't have the term blurred to use. I remember one of the terms they called us was black geek chic, because it was like, oh, look at this quirky, cool like group of black
I'm
folks.
glad that never landed. I'm glad that that is corny as fuck. I'm glad that never landed.
Right. But like, when I started winning my first awards, I was the first black person to win Geek of the Year at the Geek Awards. And that was like a big thing, like sponsored by like Google, Franklin Institute, like all like big tech. In 2014, I was the first black person to win the biggest award. And I think I'm the only person in their history to like Michael Jackson that John by getting multiple awards in one night. All right. But like it blew people's mind that black folk were into this stuff. And it wasn't until then did I start seeing black folks stepping out, because I'd be in Philly rocking my Spider-Man stuff. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, call me Spider-Man. And everybody like, you're weird. And then I'm like, yup.
I just appreciate the fact that you embrace it. You know what I'm saying? You don't run from it.
Yeah.
And this is just further confirmation of black excellence, man. When we touch stuff, it takes off.
But it comes with you being a target.
Correct.
Once and it's crazy. He'll even talk about it. Dan will talk about it. I put people on the map, gave people like literally put people on the map till they were nominees and award winners.
Dude, like here, it was like here, you're headlining this type shit.
Yeah. And those same people stab me in the back.
Damn.
Like straight up stab me in the back, trying to ruin my career. Like all that kind of stuff. Yep. Like I've had, and then because I guess in black folks' mind, and it's something when I'm on tour, I speak a lot of schools all over the country and stuff. Now international. Hey, your boy's international now. Hey. The one thing with America, with black Americans, is they have to learn there is not just one pot of gold. There are multiple ways to make money in the same industry. If that was the case, there would be one white filmmaker in all of Hollywood. If that was the case, you wouldn't have Spielberg's, Scorsese's, you wouldn't have all these other like creators. You wouldn't have this many array of different actors. If it was one pot of gold, you wouldn't have this many TV channels. You wouldn't have this many radio stations. I wish black folk would stop going like, and they become crabs in a barrel. So when they see you succeeding, they will do what they can to pull you down, because they feel like that's the only way for them to rise up, is for you to be lower than them. And I'm trying to teach and train people to get out of that mindset, because there could be, look at it now. I know people were like that, gatekeeping like that with YouTube when YouTube first came out, when you could actually make money off YouTube. Because for years, YouTube was just there. You couldn't make money. Same thing with podcasts. But once that started kicking off, everybody was like, oh, we got to fight for that money. And they would start stabbing each other in the back. And I'd watch so many black creatives do each other dirty, thinking, oh, this is my only shot. Once I get it, no one else can get it. And I'm like, wow, you guys are really dumb. Because, like, if that was the case, there'd be one TV channel with one show on it, just playing and repeat. You know what I mean?
Oh, no worries, Jay. No worries, Jay. Trump is working on that right now. He wants North Korea. He wants North Korean type media. But yeah, man, like y'all know me. Y'all know me well enough that I've always said this. It never hurts to big somebody else up. It never hurts to show somebody else props or give somebody else the platform to come on and say, yo, like, tell the world your shit. But also, I mean, hey, scratch our back a little bit too. Bring some of your people along. And one of them things I've experienced is, yeah, a lot of that love has been one-sided. And I'm just keeping it honest. I'm not name dropping anybody. Like I'm drunk. I'm not drunk. I'm nice. I got a little buzz. Cool. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not name dropping because it's word. But it's like I've shown people the ultimate levels of love and respect and things like that. You know, I'll go, for instance, I'll give y'all one story. Like, I donated to these Wrestle Talk creators, and I was just like, yeah, I was like, personally, I don't like the shirt, but what I'll do is I'll buy one, you raffle it off on the show. And those motherfuckers almost forgot to even shout me out that I'm the reason why you're doing the raffle. Type shit. You know what I'm saying? They weren't black dudes either, but just the
they
point of
forgot
it,
how they
like,
got there, Dan. They forgot how they got
that,
there. You know
that
what I'm saying?
part. And that's why, like, I always pride and TJ again, because TJ Lance, like, y'all been around me the most and the longest. Like, I've never not. If there was some shit you needed me to support, I did it for you, no problem. Damn near no questions asked. And I would rarely ever ask for it in return. I would just maybe sometimes internally would think, hey, maybe you'll just turn around and reach back and do the same thing type shit. But that and some people will say, yeah, crabs in the barrel. We all understand that terminology, but some people think that it's wrong. I'll never forget a conversation I had with somebody where it was just like, yeah, that crabs in the barrel terminology isn't always right because crabs are generally doing it for survival. But then when you look at it, it still fits because we're all doing it for survival, but yet there's that Highlander element aspect, like Jason was just describing, that there can only be one.
Yeah,
just like in the conversation of rap, and you know, everybody assumes there can only be one woman at the top. That's false.
Right.
Remember, Dan. A couple of months ago, I made that analogy that talking about black actors, like in we were talking about Hollywood, how it seems like there can only be one popping black actor, and at the time it was Jonathan Majors, and then he got knocked down. So it was almost like, you know, who's gonna fill that void.
And before him,
Michael B. Jordan.
No, Michael was before him.
Yeah. And then Jonathan Majors, and they chopped him.
And Kevin Hart, because Kevin Hart was the quote unquote the only black comedic actor Negro and shit like that. Like, that shit is whack.
Yeah.
And it's wild because, like, Dan knows TJ. I mean, I've been around TJ enough. How many different podcasts and YouTube shows and, like, just companies and brands and conventions that I have helped to watch them dog me. It's kind of hurtful. You know what I mean? Like, because it's like, I went out of my way to big you up. Dan, I do that with like every black podcaster. If black person would come over to me, especially the Black Nerd podcasters or any of the pop culture podcasters, if they came over and it was like, I want to get into podcasting, what can I do? I would literally show you the ropes. I would drag you along with me when I'm doing press events. Like if I'm doing a press event with Marvel or something or whoever, or like Warner Bros., if it's in your area, I'm calling you directly, and I'm like, yo, I'm gonna put you on the guest list with me, so that we could do this thing. I was like, yo, remember with the Black Infinity Gauntlet? I was like, you gonna run? That's gonna be all you. Like, you always got my full support. When like Rob and all of them had to walk away. Because at first he was like, he wanted me to do it. Like just by myself. I'm like, Negro, I'm already running enough things. I'm gonna end up dying in this bitch. Like,
right.
Help me. Nigga, help me. And I ended up getting like Dan came on and think about it. Every event I do, if I'm doing a big event, Dan Ugly Behind gonna be there. He ain't got no choice. You know what I'm saying? TJ, he show up when he feel like it. I be trying to throw him the red carpet. I be trying to throw him the red carpet, but he be giving me the finger and then keep it pushing. Like, but yeah, anytime, even who else gave me props? Hilton, because we were I was a guest speaker at Anime NYC, and it was me, Tony Weaver Jr., Hellspawn Cosplay, who's at J1 a lot, who's one of my VT Hero actors.
Yeah, y'all remember Hellspawn now, the Jack dude.
Oh yeah,
the pretty nigga. The pretty nigga.
Always
I
that
remember.
same one.
Yeah.
I remember, it was cool because Hilton, in front of a packed house for the panel, we were talking about Black-owned businesses, and you know what I mean, and like the convention scene and all. He was like, this was my mentor in making BlurredCon, and I remember, and we were laughing about it because he was talking about the times he would drive all the way up to Philly just to shadow me and learn some stuff, and then like he took that and blew up with BlurredCon. I don't care if people surpass me and stuff. I want you to succeed. That's like a father being proud. You know what I mean? Like, and that lets me know that one, my knowledge is right. You know what I mean? I'm not just talking out my butt, but it also means that like, I want to prove to each generation to like step away from that crabs in a barrel mentality.
It's we're not here to steal your shine. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. We're not here to take
people did
away.
that with me,
right?
When after I would give them a platform,
right?
I put them in front of multi-award winners. Like I put people in front of famous Marvel people, like for the comics, the games, the movies, all this stuff. And then once they got that little nudge,
they got a little taste. Got a little taste.
They was like, "Oh, I don't know him. He ain't do nothing for me." I'm like, Negroes. Like, what are we doing? But Dan has always
within all of this though, and like I said, man, I try to always be there when I can. You know, everybody knows I'm a married father of 3 daughters, and I work all the fucking time. But if I can do, I do. Because that's just me. Because, so many fucking times, like, my level of petty actually came out this week at work. I don't need to re-describe that scenario situation whenever, but my level of real petty came out this fucking week where I was just like, I've always said historically, I would never fight another black man, but one just arose. And there's one right now. But I'm a poke the bear type of fucking petty. That's like I poke and poke and I'm poking the bear until I gotta see that nigga. And then if he wants to do something, we both get suspended. Whatever. But that's a different level of petty. But as far as petty when it comes to like this shit, like I try not to be. If shit happens to me, then what do I do? What do I do? I just disconnect and I might stop listening. I don't like I said, there's no love lost in our friendship. But product wise, you might lose that level of support because I recognize the shit that happened. I recognized the funny style. But this cool because I know how to compartmentalize. Put that shit over there. We're still good here. We're still good here. But I'm gonna put that bullshit over there. But I ain't forget. I ain't forget. But I don't need to bring it up. And I'm not to throw it in your face, petty. And we don't need to be that way. We should be able to be there for each other as men, as women, as just friends, and as people. You know what I'm saying? That's why I
can't do that. A lot of people can't do that, especially in this entertainment scene. People's emotions are too tied to their brands, and that's how people end up lashing out and burning bridges, and then feeling salty when they ain't got nothing afterwards.
And this is why
that's a key point, bro. Yeah, that's a key point because I wouldn't, if I burn bridges, I wouldn't have 90% of the shit that I was able to level up with. Straight up, that's facts. Had so much little to do with talent and opportunity, and so much more to do with, remembering folks who did me a solid and paying that back, and being cool with folks and keeping those relationships solid. And people forget that shit.
Word. And keeping it solid, let me bring up another message that my brother sent late. Y'all will remember this face. This is another person who I brought up via J1 Con, just like Fred Binns when he came out to Philly for the HHDG panel discussion we did. This brother came from Houston, Texas, also Houston, not Dallas, but Houston, and came to be a part of J1 Con, just like Lou did, just like Brian did. Ed didn't come down yet from the people that spoke, but my brother here is just sending us some love too.
What up? It's your boy B Rob, wishing Starting Five Podcast a happy 10-year anniversary. Not a lot of things last 10 years, marriages, just businesses or whatever, but you have stood the test of time, just and changing and evolving with the time and everything. You weren't afraid or aren't afraid to make people uncomfortable with education and cold hard facts and everything, just all I can say is congratulations for your longevity and to keep doing what you do and succeed, damn it. I don't know, but I appreciate y'all for, giving me a platform, giving so many others a platform and everything, and continue to fight the fight.
That was the brother B Rob who funny. I had his wife like tripping because I was just like, I think he was on the phone with her. We were at J1 Con on the floor. It was him, JP, and I. And I always bring a bottle of liquor with me when we go. And I'm like, yo, you want some of my white girl? And the white girl is the white Hennessy. And his wife was just like, what, white girls, white women? And she to this day, if you bring up white girl to B Rob, and he remembers the white Hennessy shit. It's funny and all that shit. But number one, let's move on to some good times. But I will say, I love all of you brothers. I mean that to the bottom of everything. You know what I'm saying? I absolutely love all y'all brothers. As black folks, we shouldn't be afraid to say that to each other with no pause, no diddy, no none of that shit. Even though we New Yorkers, most of us are New Yorkers, the pause game is built in us by default. But I love y'all brothers. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, good times. Good times. I mean, LG, like, we've had pre-podcast good times type shit. But I mean, good times, like, within this shit, man. Just speak on some of it before we lose you to the international waters of us.
Yeah, man, we had this. Just like doing photography for like promo stuff. Like when we had like the head to head where we had to create our own like draft list and like talk about like draft class and like pretty much like scripting out the show. Like we were going from one thing to the other. Just the creative process that just went into it. It was just it was amazing. It was like, it was an honor to go through it with you because it was like if I was doing it alone, I'd have been lost. There's nobody to bounce ideas off of. There's nobody to kind of, you know, drive you when you feel like undrivable at this point. So I definitely appreciate like this us being friends and being able to do this like together. It just made the process go a lot smoother, even through
And my
the bumps
football
in the
knowledge
road.
helped you a lot.
Pretty much, because I was more doing research, especially on teams that I didn't give a shit about.
Unfortunate Cowgirls fan, y'all. Unfortunate Cowgirls fan.
Oh man,
Yeah.
VCRs and beaters. That's all I gotta say.
Listen, all I gotta say is that I'm in recovery right now. I'm in recovery.
It's all right.
For 20 years. 20
About
years
30
recovery is a
years,
long
right?
time, man.
But TJ, keep it going. Like the good times
Oh,
within this
good
shit.
times. Listen, there's so many that we've done on this show, but the one that's etched in my brain that I'll never forget was that damn Kevin Hart versus Predator debate. And they was talking about how Home Alone, Kevin from Home Alone could defeat the Predator. I want to smack the shit out of everybody.
Yeah, not Kevin Hart, Kevin McAllister.
Kevin McAllister. Yeah. Talking about this motherfucker with paint cans and soundtracks off of a TV was going to beat the Predator. That shit it irked my soul. Like it touched me inside deep. I didn't know I had that type of hate in me. But yeah, somebody said Kevin McAllister could beat the Predator, and I just lost it. So that and the time where your man in Minnesota lived or something like that. He was talking about
Wyatt.
come out.
Shouts out to Wyatt.
And he was like, yeah, of course, rent was like $300 out there or something where he lived at. And I just got up and left.
I think he said 700. I think he said like 700 for a 3-bedroom. And we all got up off the stream and walked off camera like, yo, we'll see you in a few days. Like, we all moving.
No, it'd be like that though. It actually be like that out there.
That's crazy.
What I wouldn't give for that right now. God, hey, you know, everybody moving to Texas, man. It's been crazy. A lot of Californians that came here and flipped the market, man. Fucked up everything. Crazy, man.
But Benz, I mean, good times that you've gotten from listening to the Star 5.
Oh man, I just appreciate the layout, man, and how everybody get a perspective, and you know, everybody has their own, you know, opinion. Some is fact, you know, and like I said, you know, it's kind of tough when you from New York and you rocking the Phillies hat, you know what I'm saying? You know, Philadelphia hat and everything. You know, I was shocked at first with that, but me being from Detroit, man, I'm a Niners fan. I could never take to the Lions. I like some of the players though, but you know, we've always I see you. But we always had a connection when it came to the Knicks, because I've always been an avid Knicks fan. I got a lot of family in New York, so you know, it's one of those things where I'm still pissed at Charles Smith. You know what I'm saying? You got to be stronger, man. Come on, man. What are you doing? What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? I'm the only one yelling at the team because everybody else is Pistons fans. I mean, I'm a Pistons fan too. I love when we beat up Jordan. Loved every bit about it. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, it's just one of those things, man, I appreciate about the podcast, y'all having me on, you know, giving perspective about a lot of things, you know, helping promote, you know, a lot of, you know, albums that were dropped. And then going back to 2016, man, when you were on the set with Right Here Standing By, you know what I'm saying, with Skyzoo, me, Seven, and, you know, a lot of people from the group came out, man, supported, man. Video was a success and everything. And, you know, just getting a chance to, you know, to really connect, because, you know, you can, you know, be on the internet with a lot of guys you've never seen in the physical, you know what I'm saying? So for us to arrange that and meet in the physical, I mean, we started in Jersey, then we ended up in Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying? It just gave us an opportunity to kind of, you know, build a camaraderie, you know what I'm saying? And it's been going ever since. So, I mean, that's 10 years, man. So, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, it was 2015 when we were talking about it. So, you know, it's just one of those things, man. I've come to appreciate between you, you know, TJ and JP, and then, you know, meeting JG, you know, in the process as well. You know what I'm saying? It's just, and then just the brothers I've met today, you know what I'm saying? They, like I said, the different things that they're into, that they're doing, man. This is pretty much a model of what Black excellence is, man. And I'm all for that, man. I'm all for that, man, for real. So, and I'll be 5-0 this year. So,
congrats, sir.
yo,
Welcome to the
you know
club.
what I'm saying? Yeah. So the 5-0 is coming in about 4 months. So, you know, it's just one of those things, man, that I'm happy to see it, because coming from Detroit, the neighborhood I lived in, I was on the west side, man. Majority of people I knew didn't make it past 25 or make it past 18. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, man, is just, you know, count your blessings, you know, appreciating those who are with you, that's close to you. You know what I'm saying? Never taking nothing for granted. So when people ask me how you doing, I'd be like, staying out the way. And they'd be like, what you mean by that? I was like, staying out the way of blocking my blessings. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I look at it as, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, wherever your higher power you feel, you know, just let it guide you. You know what I'm saying? Or just, you know, try to stay positive, man, because it's not enough positive activity for us as Black men, man. You know, like I said, you know, the Jay Rich point, you know, a lot of people looking, you know, to tear you down, man. You know, you ain't got it. You know, all of this. And then it'd be your family, man. You just be looking at them like, really? You know what I'm saying? You really want me to just stay down, huh? Okay. All
That's a
right.
whole
So
nother show.
hey, yeah. So, cut them off, man. You gotta cut them off, you know what I'm saying? And you know, do something different. But yeah, I appreciate the Star 5 podcast, man. I really have. Y'all guys keep doing what you're doing.
Benj, you say stay out the way. I say, how you doing? I'm breathing. Because if I'm breathing, I'm still winning. That's how I look at it. But from one almost 50 piece to the next 50 piece, Big O, like the good points, the funny points of this show. Like, what was some of the, you know, some of your favorites and your highlights? I know O's been the subject of some classics.
Man, yo, it's yo. Whenever we have our little debates, man. I wish times like this. I wish Dan's nemesis was here, man. I wish Tyrone was here and shit. You know, to listen to them go back and forth, man. You know, up to last week. You know what I'm saying? Like,
which again, I mean, not to cut your thing, but was I wrong again when I said go back and listen? Was I wrong?
Nah. You know, but man, yo, debates like that is fun, and just have you shit like that, man. Just have you in the middle of the week, just thinking about it, shaking your head, laughing to yourself, man. Like those are the memorable times to me, man. You know, so
I ain't gonna talk about the time they raided your crib.
I know what you're talking about, man.
We thought O got raided one show.
I know what you're talking about.
That nigga Turn was like, yo, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden the camera went out. Oh shit.
Nah, man, yo, it's been a blast, man.
Jamal.
Yo, there's too many moments to try and quantify. I just know one thing that I loved about this show is the ability to come on and everybody usually tells personal stories, and then we just be laughing till you got tears, man. And that's a blessing to have a bunch of different brothers from different backgrounds being able to just have moments in life where we can share shit and just be dying. But a lot of this stuff is Lisper and Dan for sure. And then been cracking me up for 30 years now, just even when he don't intend to. So, yeah, I mean, so even when he don't intend to, but I'm trying to remember the specific stories, but it just seems like there's at least one or two moments every fucking show every week where some shit happens.
I mean, we could go back. We could go back to before you were on.
It's about TJ calling plantain.
All right, that as a Jamaican, that irks me to no.
Is it a mountain or is it a mountain? You know
that shit, dog. Do you remember when we caught
I
when
said the
TJ
same
came
thing.
on the
Like, are
show?
you a captain or a
Yeah,
captain?
that's it, bro. That
You
time
know
TJ
the
came
crazy thing.
on.
You know the crazy thing about that though.
Yeah,
Like I come from both sides. Like no, so my father's side, the Ghanaian side, they call it plantain.
yeah.
And me growing up on my mother's side, every time he says plantain, I was just like, oh God,
Yeah,
it's
fam.
plantain.
Yeah, don't it feel weird? Don't it make
It's
you like?
weird, dog. It's
It
weird.
feels
I come from
uncomfortable. You
a
like?
Trinidadian family, and you don't say no plantain from Trinidadian family. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But that was funny. And then my man TJ was just running a whole afternoon of full court with some young boys, and he didn't get a chance to eat. And TJ was fucking up that burger. Yo, TJ, I don't know if it was Wendy's or what you had, but TJ didn't
It was
give a fuck.
Wendy's.
He was like, I'm going to eat this shit. If Freddie or TJ was getting down to that shit, bro. It's like he
I mean,
just came
Jamal,
out the
we could go
desert.
back to we could go back to before you were on the show and you were in the comments and you
Yes,
were trying to type Illmatic, and that's where Ishtar came out.
Ishtar.
And Ill Magic came out, and then Ishtar was another typo that you had.
And
that's
Disabled
what we got.
Planets.
And yes,
Disabled
That's
Disabled
where it came from.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it was all typos from him being in the comments. Instead of Diggable Planets, Jay, the autocorrect put Disabled Planets.
No, I want to make that a shirt. But I'm gonna design it in the font of like one of the album covers. Like,
I was like, yeah, man. I was on camera, working at the church on camera, streaming the show, trying to hide my phone so the folks didn't know I was watching the podcast and trying to type.
Disabled Planet.
Disabled
That was
Planets,
legendary.
man.
Yes, that was legendary.
Jay, and same question for you, Jay. Just high moments with us at the Star 5, whether it's watching the show or in person, whatever the case may be.
Getting to hang out. Like, I've been on a million podcasts. I love you guys. I always support you guys. Like, I've seen the cast grow, change, flip, all of that stuff. I'm still here. Right? But one of the things is the fact that we could actually get together in person. Because for me, that's a hard part for me because I'm always on the move. So I don't get to actually hang out with other creatives. I be wanting to. I be hitting people up sometimes on Facebook. Who wants to hang out? Like all lonely and stuff. But like the fact that like I know I can always bet I'll see y'all at J1Con. Like if I'm having a J1Con, I know I'm gonna see y'all. But I want to make more of that because I'm trying to come up with more reasons because I have to do some stuff in New York anyway. So I'm gonna find some reasons to go to New York more often, and then be like, hey.
And the same, and it's likewise because I realized all of 2024. Like I usually make a visit to Philly at least once or twice a year, and all of 24, I realized I didn't get down there at all.
Yeah,
but 2024 for me was kind of a readjustment mentally, and
life was life.
It was life was life in new supervisor position, working in a shithole district, and then finally leaving to now working in a shithole borough of Manhattan, getting disrespected and all that shit. Things have been different to where I haven't been able to have the free time. Plus, I got a 17 year. It was different. Wow. It was different. Yeah. It was different for all of us. Like, I got a 17-year-old about to go to college. Like, it was a pleasant fucking surprise reading a letter that she got in the mail the other day that she's already 6 credits ahead of graduating credits necessary.
There you go.
And this is my daughter who started high school on an IEP. to then junior year calling us saying, yeah, she don't need the IEP no more. She went in and chose to take it off and has been killing it. She's, now, and because when you do the right thing, you can have things. She went off to her boyfriend's house today, made him a cake because it was his birthday yesterday, and she got a boyfriend. Like, life has been lifing, as we said. I got a 13 and a 12-year-old in the house. Like, it's been different. I got my wife working on her master's, which I'm gonna get back to the show wise thing, because I can't narrow down. Again, 10 years of this shit. And actually, in all facts, it's 11 years of podcasting for me, because the importance of bringing my brother LG on was, we started in 2014, in March of 2014. And then we stopped before 2014. But then the irony of JP and I starting this, like officially kicking it off, and I said the official, unofficial, but official date of March 15th, I believe, was the first episode that went out of the show, of the Start 5. Like, that was 2015. But LG was the person who helped me get this started. So I've been in podcasting for 11 years. Or if I want to say it in job terms, now I'm working year number 12. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm starting to work to completion to year number 12 in podcasting. And I mean, all of this has been, like y'all brothers said before, like the commitment. And I have to give big ups to my wife and everybody's significant others who deal with us creatives in the carving out of time. So, like, big up to JG's wife, big up to Danae, Jay Rich's wife, like, big up to Fred Benz's wife, who deals with when he's got to step to the side and make beats and shit like that. Like, in the beginning, when you're doing this, and even they see nothing growing from it, technically, financially, shit like that, like, it's like why are you doing this? You're taking time away from us. But then eventually, it's grown to be, my wife checks every Sunday. You recording today? All right. You recording today? All right. Some Sundays we end up having to skip a Sunday because, like we said, life be lifing. Mm-hmm. But they still are there with us step by step throughout the process, because they eventually understand that it's something that we love. Like, same thing when I was playing football. I wasn't getting paid to play football, but my wife was at the games, still supporting it because it was something that I loved to do. And I didn't do much outside of that for the time. I don't do much.
It's your thing, though. You know what I'm saying?
I don't do much outside of the podcasting. But then when I do get out and about, those few times every, within the year, we gotta kick it with the HHDG family a couple times in the year just to get that mental break. I gotta get to Philly once or twice a year just to get that mental break, keep those connections with my people. Shouts out to the brothers Ramon and them. And I text him. The text conversation was brief, but that's another piece of this podcasting puzzle. And within that podcasting puzzle, like, I've taken many looks back on, like, damn, I look at the first, which this is some inside my brain baseball type shit. My bad. I had to get back to the comments. And Lou said, crispy ass voice, pause. I think that was for B-Rock. Lou said, the absolute worst is when one of your people in your family asks you if you heard of a podcast they listen to and you see them reposting shit but not yours. That's a part of the mix. And I don't like it, but that part, yes, because that part became it helped me develop the fucking gene. It helped me develop the fucking gene, because it'd be like, nah, I don't really listen to podcasts, but I listen to Rogan. I listen to this sneaker podcast. They done ran off 10 different podcasts except for supporting your people.
Listen, if this shit blows up tomorrow, guess who'll be out there listening to the podcast talking about, I know those guys.
What if Fonte saying that skit on the Little Brother album?
What?
And 2 years later, they be talking about, we always loved y'all. They're fuckers. You're talking about they don't get love in their home state. It's true.
Dan
It's
knows
true.
all about that with me. That's my whole career.
Like I don't know who else does podcasting in Staten. I know people who podcast in Staten Island, but I can almost assure you I probably am the longest running podcaster out here. And that's because I don't know, because nobody else reaches out here. I don't know really anybody else. You know what I'm saying? I don't really know that many people out here that do it. But I know for a fact, this shit almost died at least 3 times.
Yep.
Until I had a breaking point, and it was just like, you know what, fuck it. Because forget looking at I stopped looking at the numbers. What do I do now? I say thank you to the 5 to 12 to 15 people who listen on Anchor or Spotify or whatever every week. I don't care after that. Because why? I love this shit. We're going to do what we're going to do. And it's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? I know I was going to spin into something else.
It did get you some clout, though, because you've been on world famous stages. J1.
Exactly. No, but that's the thing. No, but and that's some things like I'll never forget. Like, shouts out to the homie T Smith. I would have never made this connection, and we would have never had him on the show without him. We've had, when it was JP and I, we've had Uncle Ralph McDaniels on this show during the year of his 35th anniversary of Video Music Box. I am mad that I can't find that file because I wanted to resurrect that episode to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Jason again, as always, for giving us the platform. And again, the shenanigans behind the story of that and the Universal FanCon aspect of things and how it landed in my lap. Because again, I'll just briefly tell you how it landed in my lap. Shouts out to the homie Rob down in DC. They had some tumultuous shit with that convention that happened. But when Rob reached out to me, he was like, yo, because I told him when I met him at the first one, let me know how I can be involved in the next one if there ever is a next one.
Yeah, the first Black Panini Gauntlet, yeah.
Yes. And so he reached out, and I had the whole show written 30 minutes. In 30 minutes, within 30 minutes from the end of our phone conversation, I had the whole show written.
Listen, we had Tracy Lee on the show.
We had Tracy Lee on the show. We had I was supposed to get rest in peace to Combat Jack, Reggie Osei. I was supposed to get him on the show.
Yeah.
That moment there taught me a lesson of, if I ask somebody, don't drop the ball after that. I was supposed to get DMC on our show. DMC's been on so many other people's shit. But when I met him at the Comic-Con and I asked him, after I paid $140 for 3 of his books, and I asked him, he was like, yeah, take my number. I can't do it next week, but hit me up after. And I hit him up the next week. He never responded. All good. Legends do legend things, whatever. Then I started to see him on other people's shit, but it's all good. I ain't tripping. But I'm just saying, I stopped letting balls drop like that when it comes to
Okay.
We 50 years old now, bro. We don't have to say pause, man.
Y'all 50. I'm only 45. Remember, I stopped letting moments like that pass me. Is my point. Is what is things that I learned in this. Word up, Lou. Hey yo. But things that I've let moments pass. I've stopped letting moments like that pass me, and I've started to adapt that. Hey, if it's for me, it's for me. If it's not, fuck it. Move on. If it's not, fuck it. Move the fuck on. Keep it moving. And keep my fucking sanity.
Yes.
Because that was the most important part. Because when I posted that video on TikTok about like, yo, like, I don't know if I'm gonna do any of this anymore. Like, it was an internal crash out. It was just like I don't know. Because I started to feel like others. I remember where I was trying to get to now. I started to feel like others not seeing anything produced from this shit. But in turn, I can't say that. Because why? Because shit produced from it. Like I said, we interviewed them. We are damn near permanently with J1 Con. We are an
Or
established.
permanently with
We
J1
can,
Con. There's no
right.
damn
We,
there.
you
I'm
know,
the
but
CEO.
nigga, this is how I talk. This is how I talk. You know what I mean. But whatever. It's not whatever. You know what I mean. Love you, brother. But shouts out to my man John in Philly also, who made
Big
us
John, yeah.
from. We are permanent staples, aka as he named us, the official podcast of Philly Cigar Week. And we can show up or not show up, but do what we want to do when we get there, type shit. Why? Because we shown to be honest brothers that come through with just love first and foremost, good at what we do. But most importantly is that the fact that each and every week we are not assholes. We might be assholes to each other, but then it's still we get up, shake hands, dust it off, shake. But it's always with fucking love as we move each and every week, no matter how we do what the fuck we do. It always comes through with love. But then again, if you want to pull moves that disconnect from us or whatever, like one said, go that way. It's cool. You know what I'm saying? Stay on that side. But we can still be cool in these other aspects. But again, that's me. Hopefully, y'all can eventually learn to adopt that level of. We'll keep that side. Like, if you want to get me with that, you better be serious. But within all of that, like I said, like the 10 years longevity thing, like shouts out to Tyrone again, who's not here this week. But he said it last week again. He's thankful because again, I seen the brother on TikTok and I just reached out. And the brother showed he wanted to come on consistently. That's where it was a no-brainer that we could offer him the 5th spot. And he's here before everybody else all the time, every week. He's on time with me every fucking week. And I help that man not quit what he's doing. But then in some respects, like I've looked at myself like, damn, this is the moment that I had, y'all. And I'm opening the air with this shit right now. I thought that I was a podcast Grim Reaper at one time. Because when I looked at everybody who I've invited to the Blackfinity Gauntlet, we are still the only ones standing out, with the exception of when Lou comes back and does the Everything podcast, which I know he's watching. Hopefully you bring that energy back, brother. Because if anybody appreciated what you did, you know I did. Please, hopefully you get some influence and energy out of this shit. But mostly everybody else stopped doing it. Part because life be lifing. And then some people did it with the things of like, they wanted to see shit from this. And if you don't love this shit the way that you originally kicked this shit off to, you will never see anything from it. But do you love it enough to keep it going? And I think that to me is what the 10 years of this show still surviving. Still, like Lance said something to me in a text message. I forgot exactly. I could go read it. But if you remember it, Lance, you could say it. But like, it was like I said, you still doing something. But I said, nah, we're still keeping it alive. It is what I think I said.
Yeah, I said that you were still keeping it going. You were like, yeah, keeping it alive. It's like, yeah, that's you did that of sheer strength and willpower.
And that's it. Like it was just like, you know what? I felt like I've still always had an end goal with this. And in some respects, though, like Lance was there in the beginning where we were a network at one time. Like, shouts out to everybody who was a part of the network. Like, Lance had some kid who he knew from somewhere that wanted to do a baseball show. He did 3 episodes, but was in college, fell off. Lance's cousin, Kenny, he wanted to really be a part of this show. And I told him, all you got to do is show consistency. He would come back week after week after week, then disappear, but then come back again like, yo, coach, put me in, coach, Come on, whenever you're ready. Whenever anybody wants to come on, just tell me you want to come on. You're on the show. And then he brought a show, I Think I Love My Brother, where he was telling stories about his life and shit growing up and things like that. That was another part of the podcast. Shout out to my family coach, Casey, who brought in Just the Facts, the basketball show. And then he ended up evolving in life. I think he's a coach at LaSalle High School in the city and stuff like that. And life was lifing. He ended up stopping the show. We had a good 4 or 5 solid shows where Lance and I was doing our own separate shit. I did the mayor's office. He did Inside the Mind of LG.
Yeah.
And then I tried the same thing with JP, and then JP's thing was supposed to be Views from the Borough, while I resurrected the mayor's office, which it was just mini pods where we just went off the head of things that we did, what wanted to say. JP shit, I ended up cutting long rants of his that he did on the show. So I had a network of shit going on. So I understood how to build the network. But then when, as Lou mentioned in the video, and as I said each and every time I'm on that J1 stage, in content creation, which damn near everybody's a content creator now. If you're a DJ, you've been creating content. If you're a beat maker, a rapper, you've been creating content. If you're a movie maker, we've been creating content before content creator was the new label for us people.
I was a stripper.
Consistency. you had that on your own. But
Scripper.
I was Magic Mike out here.
Even in scripting, consistency is key. If you ain't on that stage all the time, you ain't gonna see them dollars flowing. Or you're not.
At him.
My knees went out after the stripper wars of 2012. I lost my kneecaps
because they were throwing cans at you.
Yeah. As soon as that one woman tried to swipe the debit card in your ass, it was over.
Yo, peace, everybody. I gotta dip. I gotta run to work, man. But I want to shout y'all out before I dip out.
Shout yourself out, because again, you're a part of this history.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah.
One love, JG. Be easy out there, family.
Absolutely, man. Benz, J Rich, LG, appreciate y'all coming on. Congratulations to all of us here on 10 years. Again, shouting out the mayor, Big O, TJ, Lisper, who's not on, Hooks Rub, peace to Ishtar, Ill Magic, and Disabled Planets. I'm out.
Word up.
Later, y'all.
Later.
Word up. And see, and again, brotherly love is always. We make sure we shout that out every time the brother's not on the show, even when he's filming the Blair nigga project in the woods, like he usually do. You know what I'm saying? Like, we make sure we shout that out. I'm dying over here.
Oh shit! Sound like me yesterday, man.
Wow. But yeah, man. But again, all in all, though, like this journey has been a journey, and a moment like this, to be honest with you, I should have planned this better, because this should have been an in-person live. But no fear, people. And Lance, you're hearing this for Benz, Jay, you're hearing this for the first time. We are celebrating for the year, so we are going to try to set up live shows somewhere. But ultimately, the ultimate goal is going to be the old nigga Olympics. So get to stretching, because I need y'all to be a part of this. But we are doing the old nigga Olympics. This is inspired by our brother Tyrone, because this man always talked the most shit about a professional athlete should be able to do this, should be able to do that. Now, to give him credit, he always says it as he compares them amongst their peers. But even still, we are the people who are talking from the sidelines. So we are, quote unquote, the couch quarterbacks and stuff like that. So I'm crafting an event for all of us 40-plussers to get outside and do some shit. So, like I said, we're going to run a 40. We're going to have a three-point shooting contest. We're going to have a field goal kicking contest. We're going to have a QB accurate
on standby.
Just make sure you have a medic.
Yeah, but
That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying, y'all need to be a part of this shit. Don't talk that shit. Come be about this shit with it. Because, yeah, TJ is the only person still left that athletically does something every weekend. I used to. It's been 12 years since I think I played football, maybe longer. But still, for all of you old motherfuckers that talk that shit about professional athletes should be able to do, we are going to put that shit on display on the Star 5 Podcast YouTube page, and it's going to be fucking hilarious. But that's just a part of the mix of what we're going to do this year, just celebrating the whole 10. And damn it, man, again, I love you, brothers. It's been 2 hours plus. This has been great. This has been a good, just open air conversation, rehashing of good, bad, in between, the process, the journey, all of that shit. Fred Binns, you the first one to kick off the final shout outs.
Well, I want to give a shout out to, of course, everybody on this panel, the brothers I met, you, Dan, TJ. I mean, we're all in the group as well. I want to give a shout out to just my big bro, Sid, all my brothers that's just out here doing it, man. You know what I'm saying? And of course, 7. We got some stuff coming up, so stay tuned for that. I'm actually in talks with the Rebel INS, so stay tuned for that too. I'm trying to get to, one of the GOATs. I mean, Jay probably done hung it up, but I gotta streamline the Nas, I think, but we'll see. But either way, a lot of artists I want to work with, young, up and coming, those who's been in the game for a while, but just a shout out to everybody that's just out here grinding, doing what they doing, man, and taking care of their families and being the best man they can be. You know what I'm saying?
You had me at Inspector Deck.
Yes, sir.
If you can pull that off, I'm there for whatever the fuck happens. They know how I speak about Deck as far as group members is concerned.
Yeah,
they know.
And the thing is, y'all the first to know that, so I haven't told no one else yet. So
thank you for the exclusive.
Yes, Fred.
Yeah,
I appreciate
absolutely.
you when you send me the snippets in the chat on the low before everybody gets it. I'm like, that's my boy right there.
Yeah,
He's taking care of me. So
yes, sir. I got the day ones, man, and that's the thing, man. You know who the ones are, and you want to make sure that they get to listen first. So stay tuned. Yes, sir.
Jay Rich.
It's my blood pack. If you know anything about the blood pack, that's that John Wick stuff. Yeah, like I just like, I don't know. I like seeing people, especially like I don't want to be like all weird and like our people, but in a sense, yes, because I deal with this stuff all the time. But it's just awesome seeing longevity and consistency, because I've watched not just podcasts, musicians, filmmakers, every industry of cats talk a big hot game and then fizzle out within a year. And the fact that you still here, you doing this, logo strong, the brand is strong. Like, you know what I mean? Like, longevity is the most valuable asset of content creation. I don't care what anybody says, because you can be that instant pop-up thing that goes viral. Sure, you can get 1 million views on that one thing, but then that's it. But if you can be something that I learned, it took me a lesson to be learned, because I was always chasing that, entertainment, fire. I'm like, gotta be the best. I gotta go, keep going, I say yes to everything. Now I'm like, once I ran into people who had kids, they were fans of mine, who who had kids and now their kids are fans of mine. That's like crazy. Like people that used to come to the convention when they were teenagers are now coming to my convention as grown adults with their kids. And like that longevity, that's when it hit me on longevity being the most important thing, because you could be influential generationally and you won't even know it. Yeah, you could say, hey, oh, I don't have these numbers and all that stuff. Numbers don't mean nothing to it. Numbers only mean something to people who don't have true influence. I don't have like 1 million followers, but guess what? The people that follow me are like producers from Marvel, Sony, you know what I mean? Like the heads of this stuff, people, heads of Disney and stuff. I think that's more valuable. And if you have 10 people that are willing to support you in some way, shape, or form, that's more valuable than having 10,000 people that all they do is hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? Like people need to don't chase the like train. And the fact that you have now matured, my son. You have matured in a way where you are beyond that which is likes. And no, that takes a lot. A lot of people are still chasing that. People are still doing stupid stuff on social media, getting arrested, doing those weird annoy people while they're working videos because it means likes. But no, but people don't care about you. You know what I mean? It's this. The fact people are making videos for this brand to celebrate 10 years of excellence. That has real value. So no matter,
I had to ask for it, but they did it. I had to ask.
Look, closed mouths don't get fed. All right. You like sometimes you gotta ask for stuff. Don't be afraid. But again, I just want to congratulate you and the crew and everybody that throughout the years who have been a part of it. Some of y'all I've seen in person. Some of y'all I haven't. Y'all should fix that. I'm gonna go to New York, and when I go to New York, let's try and get everybody.
Come to New York, brother.
I was every year. Dan knows. I do a thing with Marvel with Spider-Man, and ain't no Spider-Man this year. So I wasn't in New York, but I'm trying. I'll make time. You set up an event. We'll do the meet and greet. Like we can do something where we get people to come out and whatever. We can go have a couple drinks, sit back, have a couple cigars, relax, just chill, eat some food though.
Facts.
I'm gonna want to eat some food. I'm just asking. Yeah, no, congratulations to all that. Congratulations to being another branch on the tree of Black excellence. Yeah, you can quote that. That was fire. I ain't gonna hold you. That was fire.
LG.
Well, I'm gonna do my best to try to follow up Ben's Empire Negro himself. 10 years is of being a staple and having a passion and having a drive outlast consistency. To be professional, something you got to have like 10,000 hours invested into a craft, and 10 years definitely exceeds more than that 10,000 hour mark of just getting to it and not doing it for numbers and doing it for love, drive, and just to project your voice into the world that obviously needs it. If it's still 10 years doing it, it's been a long road. You haven't always wanted to drive it, but just, as long as you're not driving it alone, that you got motherfuckers ready to ride with you until the wheels fall off. Me being quiet and silent, it doesn't mean that I don't support that. I don't love you. I don't love this show and where it's gone and where you've taken it. I'm always there no matter what. You text me, you need something, you shit. If it's simple fucking headshots for one of your daughters or some shit, I'm in there. You know where I'm at. You know where to find me.
And
As if I don't want to do it myself. Yeah, I got you.
right, as if you don't do it, as if you don't do it on your own. It's not one of the many hats that you wear. But yeah, we've definitely come a long way from your living room to badgering people in Buffalo Wild Wings and having them call hotlines to give their reactions when their shitty team was whack. It's nice to see something that's from its infancy to its maturity, and the people that you have on your show, that TJ, JG, everybody does their show with you. Like, everybody has their own voice. Nobody sounds like each other. It's not a bunch of yes men just fucking high fiving. It's real shit. It's real interactions. It's shit that we need to see out from our community to our community, and I think it's important because people need that. People need to see themselves in spaces that they didn't know they existed. So, thank you for having me on, even though I've been spotty and in and out. But I just appreciate this being included and watching, being a part of the magic and watching it happen. Hopefully, I can come back again at some point.
Like I said, all you ever gotta do is tell me when. Don't stop running from the cops back there. I heard the sirens. We got Big O in the kitchen with wrist whipping like a stir fry.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to make some exactly. I'm trying to make some fried rice right now, some pineapple fried rice. It's getting. I didn't realize I'm getting caught up with the time right now.
Did you say plantain or plantain fried rice?
Pineapple.
Oh, pineapple. Oh.
Pineapple.
See, I had to pause for a second. I was waiting for that answer.
Nah. Man, it's always a great show, man, and to be recognized for the 10 years. I mean, I wasn't here for the whole 10, man, but these last 2 years been great, man. I love it. Like I said, look forward to the shows, look forward to Sundays. When life ain't lifing. Yeah, I'm gonna have to plan my little barbecue, my little grilling and shit around
You can
around
invite
the
us,
Sundays now, man.
You can invite us,
it's all good, man.
That part, TJ, I was waiting for it. That part. This nigga was always barbecuing and was telling us on the show that he was barbecuing, but never told us to come get some.
Nobody wants to come on.
We knew about every chicken. We knew about every chicken escapade that you've had, from burnt to perfection.
Nobody wants to come on to Long Island, man. I mean,
you ain't never invited us to see who show up.
You know what? All right. You're right, man. You're right.
TJ, he don't know.
I promise, man.
See, TJ, he don't know about
food. I'm gonna be there. Like,
bro, if we can go to Philly, we can damn sure show up to Long Island. Put it like that.
TJ, I was gonna say,
I would cook for y'all. Came to Philly, I cook for y'all.
TJ, he doesn't know about the Nets, the Northeast Travel Squad. He don't know. That's it. We know about that, but everybody else don't know about the Nets. But go ahead, TJ.
Yo, 10 years. I'm proud to be a part of this for at least a good 5 or 6. I love all you guys. This has been dope. Benz needs to come on that show where we do the hip hop draft for the best years in hip hop, because you would like that.
Oh, I would love that.
It starts next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got time.
The tournament starts next week.
Yeah.
I'll make time for that.
Yeah, because some people need to be checked. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to these tournaments, it be some table flipping and some furniture moving.
It do.
You know what I'm saying? So definitely come
and
back.
A lot of times people forget. They forget. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
they
please.
do forget. But go ahead, man. Yeah, I would love to be on that though.
Yeah, come on. It's been dope. As I get a little gray in the beard here, I hope we could keep on doing this for another 10, 15, or however long we're in this and got time to do it, man. This has just been a great experience for myself. It's great to hear other people's perspectives on a subject that you haven't heard before. You know what I'm saying? And that always brings a lot of insight and different knowledge that you might have not known before. So I always love that. and the fact that we can educate each other or be hypocritical and still have a good time with it. That shit is just dope. So I always love that. And I can't put into words or context what that means to me. So, I mean, I'm here for the long haul. I've been here for the long haul. So let's just keep rocking out, man. That's all I can say about it. Like, it's been dope. And we're here for a good time. I mean, it's something to look forward to on Sundays, like everybody said here. We carve out our time when we can, for the most part, but it's something that we do. It's something that we do. But, everybody's got families and life situations, but we still make time to make this happen. And that's I love y'all. This has been fire. Today's been dope, hearing stories and everybody's love for the show. That's just dope. And like I said, let's keep it popping, keep it rolling.
Sure.
Word. And I'm gonna, again, just before I even forget, once again, shouts out and thank you to the brother Jared from #Blackout. They haven't recorded in at least like a year and a half or so. But if it wasn't for Jared, we wouldn't have our second ever sponsor, Hooks Rubs and Spices, hooksrub.com. 20% off your order using the code STARTING5. I would be an idiot to forget to say thank you to my brother that I go back from fucking IS-51 Junior High School, my man Marco Camayo, who I ran into him at ShopRite one night, going to ShopRite for something my wife said to pick up. And irony was he was going into ShopRite to buy ingredients to make some edibles type shit. But the man has been a phenomenal artist as long as I've known him. And he said, yo, I want to do something for y'all. This is where, like, again, I equally appreciate him the way I equally appreciate Benz for just, yo, I want to do something for y'all. I see what you're doing. I want to do something for y'all. And this logo that we've been rocking for at least 9 of the 10 years, because the beginning, I was trying to make and create logos to where when I landed on one, it was cool, but it still didn't feel like me. And then when my man said, yo, check your email, and gave me this shit that you see in the background, it's been the staple that you see to this day, from the first hoodie to the hoodie that I got custom made that TJ's wearing right now. It's been our signifier to where I tell everybody, when you're looking for the Star 5 podcast, make sure you look for the black and white logo. We are the original. Or as Fonte said, making fun of the RZA, we're the original article. We're the original article of the Star 5 podcast type shit. But yeah.
Quick shout out to my brother. He's having surgery this Friday. We're in an over 40 basketball league. He blew out his Achilles last week. And yeah, you was talking about old nigga Olympics. You know what I'm saying?
Shouts out to rest up to the brother Chris.
Word.
Yeah.
Out there.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna be sick for that, man. After hearing that, whenever the day that the Olympics, I'm gonna be sick, man.
At least come work a camera or something. At least
I'll do that. I'm gonna come with a neck brace on like a victim. I'm like, hello everyone, good evening.
But for real though,
don't show up injured.
Nah. But for real though, everybody that I'm about to shout out is a part of our history, no matter what, man. So again, shout out to, like I mentioned, my brother LG. This journey would have never started without him. Shouts out to JP and Katara, the 2 first of the 3 original of the Star 5. JP, this would have never happened because without JP, like I said with Lance, I said to JP, hit me up one day and said, yo, I want to do a radio show. And I said, well, I already got the podcast. Lance and I aren't doing nothing with it. Let me talk to Lance to do the respectful thing. And LG was like, yeah, that's cool. I got the clothing line thing. I'm going to do that. And I'm trying to finish school. You run with that. And I kept it running. And that's how we started this shit. So it wouldn't be without JP also. Though again, I'm gonna talk my shit. JP always puts the real game over the show all the time, but whatever. But shouts out to again some of the first crews I met. Once again, Jason when he was a part of Black Tribbles. Shouts out to the Black Tribbles crew, man. Like again, opening doors for us to come down to be a part of G Town Radio broadcasts. And then when it was on Philly Cam, and then I tried to get on Philly Cam, and then Philly Cam hit me with like a rejection letter. Like, yeah, we got shows like this, whatever, cool. It was a learning experience. Shouts out to the people who was a part of my first Black Finity, Dawn and the Brown Girl Experience, who she just started bringing her show back. Shouts out to Karen and Auntie Mook, who came in place for the real reason why I met Ladies Love Hip Hop, my girl Summer Willow. They came through. Summer missed out on the first one. Shouts out to why am I forgetting the other show? It was like Dot Something Show. Shouts out to Lou for being a part of the first Black Finity, coming all the way up from Davie, Florida. Shouts out, and then shouts out to the Beat Society podcast, who's also no longer Sayo and I don't know why I'm forgetting the other homie's name, but they haven't done their shit in forever either. And then shouts out to everybody who's a part of the second one. B-Rob came through, Head Nerds in Charge, the Garbled podcast, Beat Sneaks and Rhymes, that's Simone Arabia and Damon, aka Fever. They were a part of the second one. Shouts out to my HHDG family who's been in and out there with this throughout the whole thing. Shouts out to Uncle Ralph McDaniels for being a part of the show and saying, yeah, sure, no problem, man. I'll do the show, no problem. And it was great to have a legend like that. And again, if you don't know who Uncle Ralph, he was everybody's uncle in hip hop before Snoop was everybody's uncle in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So shouts out to Uncle Ralph McDaniels for blessing our show. Shouts out to our brother Tracy Lee, as always, man. Like, again, I haven't spoken to the man in a minute, but love is never lost over here. The man gave us the opportunity after the first opportunity we got with him. We hosted a live listening party, exclusive listening party of his album Warning and Expect the Unexpected. He entrusted us of HHDG to do the joint, to set up the whole event in DC. We did that. Then he came on the Start 5 podcast and blessed us with the next album. And we was able to play exclusives. And we were able to play exclusive freely because he owned the rights to everything and gave us the permission to play it. That's another loophole for y'all people who don't understand the whole background of playing music on shows. And then wondering why people are getting their shows banned and deleted. But again, shouts out to other people throughout the years who I've met. Shouts out to the brothers who used to do the show, the Intramural League. Johnny and them over there in Ohio, like they were a part of the show. Shouts out to my people from That's Absurd podcast, Juno, Nate, Swerve, fucking Gray, and all of them over there. Like, I've been down with them almost as early since they started type shit by way of podcasting. Shouts out to my man DJ, aka Scully, aka DJ World Premiere, who's been on this show several times, of the World Is Yours podcast and now the Used podcast. It's a brother I met through TikTok who now I got another friend in Virginia. Shouts out to the homie Mike Source, who met on TikTok, been on our podcast. When he came out to Staten Island, I missed him because we was in passing. He was out here, whatever. But making real friends through this shit throughout the years. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to the homie Corey Salty True Floyd. Once again, used to see him at J1 Con, didn't meet him until TikTok. Now we are cool as shit, and has also been a part of this podcast several times over. Once again, to Tyrone. Met the brother through TikTok. The man had over 40,000 before fucking TikTok shut his account down. Just on the random. And I helped that man not stop doing what he loved to do. And now his content has gotten way more consistent with his YouTube shorts and things like that, and just his growth of just, again, reaching out to people and being good people to people, and just giving that slight bit of inspiration. You know, shouts out to Lou and Nick and B-Rob for originally having me a part of that the Wrestling is Trash. But then we had a little falling out when I had my moment of stopping everything. And then when I was wanting to come back, some things, the way the conversation was said, it was just time for me to step away. But it was all good because I don't love those brothers no less. We are still in the same wrestling group chat. I wouldn't know anybody of that wrestling group chat if it wasn't for podcasting. Podcasting brought me to what I call my second home and second city of Philadelphia, to where I can go and just reach out to people and be like, yo, I'm out here. What's up? Type shit. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody can do that type shit. Also, it's the same thing. I can go to Texas. Yo, B-Rob, yo, Benz, I'm out here. What's up? You know what I'm saying? Yo, Lou, I'm in Florida. Though half of Staten Island is in Florida. I can go to Florida, reach out to other people that I know, and be like, yo, I'm out here. What's up? I can go to Virginia. DJ, Mike Sauce, yo, I'm out here in Virginia. What's up? Like, it's this shit has brought me and let me stop by just saying me, because I've never treated this show as if it was only mine. And I say this shit all the time, and the brothers know this shit. I've never, ever only treated it as it's only mine. But if I have to be the major conduit for continuing to put this shit as the bat symbol in the air, I'm always going to do that. But this isn't only mine. This is ours. And everybody who comes on the show, you're always welcome back whenever you feel like coming back. This is yours too. You can always be a part of this shit whenever you feel the need that you want to come, talk some shit, have a good time, laugh at TJ when he's on his gummies, laugh at O when he's seeing Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. You know, you can see it through his glasses. You know what I'm saying? Informationally or whatever the case may be, you're always going to have a good time with us. And I still have my end goal with this, that, again, there are many networks out there, but the idea that I have, still nobody has done yet. And eventually I got roughly 2 years left to retirement. The full goal within this is still going to come to fruition.
I hate you. 2 years
Sorry.
to retirement.
Sorry. You hate me. I hate that my brother's 42 years old right now and is retired.
Yeah, both of y'all.
And I still gotta go to work. Fuck him too. You know, I love my brother, but fuck him too. Fuck all y'all that hate on it, but whatever. But point is, again, man, like, I've had my ups and downs. I think I've finally shaken the last, like, this shit ain't stopping. It ain't going nowhere. And my bad, I forgot to also shout out. Shouts out to the brother Seuss, B. Price, and Scott Free of the Owner's Box.
Yeah.
Low key, those brothers always showed love. And I was a part of their third episode ever, because they started talking about Capadonna, and y'all niggas know how I feel about Capadonna. So I had to go out there, you know what I'm saying? But shout out to those brothers also, man. I cannot leave them out. I might have left some others out. I don't mean it intentionally. Shouts out to my HHDG family. As always, shouts out to my brother, my family. since Disabled Planets,
quick.
Word Up.
That was quick.
Shouts out to my brother Ian with the HHDG Media podcast, all that shit, man. Big ups to everybody. Big ups to the Pie Negroes, Disabled Planets, Ishtar, Ill Magic, all of that shit. We're
Shout
done.
shout out to the six man. Shout out to the six man of the Starting Five podcast, man. The listeners themselves, man. Shout out to y'all
Word up.
especially.
Yeah.
Word up.
Yeah.
Ed
And
Molina,
viewers like you.
Ryan, right? On some PBS shit. But real talk though, again, even if we've had falling outs in any small mini way, whatever, again, y'all, there's no love lost in any of this shit from me. We're always gonna be cool as peoples and all that shit. And yeah, this show is done. We out. And Jay, I didn't realize you sent me the picture. That's why you fucking at this nigga here. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, we're done. And again, big ups to our wives and our significant others and anybody who has to put up with our shit every Sunday for 2 or 3 hours. We're gone and disappeared. We love y'all. Love y'all brothers here. Peace. We'll see y'all next week where we start the tournament of greatest year in hip hop or rap history. I always say rap history. It's hip hop. If we did it as hip hop history, that's a different tournament on top of greatest year in rap history next week. We'll see y'all. Peace.
Sir.
Peace.